Me and my brother both fell for the same girl. Her name was Maya. She was 6 months older than me, and I was always the quiet one. I could never find the right words whenever I was around her. But my brother Ryan was smooth and charming with a high EQ. He always knew how to make Maya laugh, so I figured she had to like him. That year, Ryan got into college, but the two of us had nothing growing up. We had no money for tuition or living expenses, so Ryan told me to go work at a coal mine in the West. To put him through school, he said we were brothers, and that once he finished his degree, he would never let me down. The pay at the mine was good, but the danger was real. Over 4 years, I watched so many accidents happen around me. The scariest one was a tunnel collapse not too long ago, where I almost got buried alive. I made it out, but not without getting hurt. Afterward, the mine owner tossed me 20 grand and called it even. Then out of nowhere, a few days later, Ryan wrecked his bike and hurt his leg. He needed money for the hospital, so I wired him that whole 20,000. Then I rushed home but had no idea which hospital he was at. He was not picking up his phone, so I went next door to ask Aunt Carol. Jake, who told you your brother was in the hospital, word is today is his girlfriend's birthday, and your brother is throwing her a dinner at that hotel down the street. Ryan was not in the hospital, and apparently he had a girlfriend now. Aunt Carol looked at me and added the place is not cheap either. Gotta be a few thousand easy, and your brother just graduated without a job. No idea where he got the money. Every dollar I made those 4 years was earned with my blood. I had never once set foot in a fancy restaurant, but there was Ryan, blowing thousands on dinner, and even worse, he had lied to me. All these years I worried about whether he had enough to eat, and he used a fake hospital story to take my 20 grand. That money was bought with my life. I was furious. I headed straight to that hotel and walked into a place that was absolutely stunning. Then I saw a face that stopped me cold. It was Maya, and I had not seen her in 4 years in that moment. My heart just froze. Maya spotted me too and walked over quickly and said, "Jake." I said, "Maya? Hey, long time no see." Her face lit up with a flash of excitement, but it quickly turned into something harder. She said, 4 years ago you just up and left. I tried everything to find out where you went, but you disappeared off the face of the earth. I could not track you down at all until 2 months ago, when Ryan told me you had gotten married. Congrats on that, by the way. Getting married so young. How come you did not bring your wife back so everyone could meet her? Married. I spent 4 years in a coal mine. When would I have had time to get married? I was about to explain myself when Ryan walked out of the private room. He was dressed sharp in a suit polished from head to toe. Meanwhile, I was in plain worn-out clothes looking like I had nothing. The contrast was hard to miss, and I saw panic flash across Ryan's face. Then he forced a smile and walked over saying, "Jake, when did you get back? Today is Maya's birthday. We are all here to celebrate." While he was talking, he kept throwing me these pointed looks. Then he turned to Maya and said, "Maya, everyone is waiting on you. Go on back inside. Let me have a quick word with Jake alone." Maya shot me a cold glare and went back in. That is when it hit me that Ryan's girlfriend was Maya. I was burning inside. I said, "Bro, were you not supposed to be in the hospital, Jake? I am sorry. I was not actually hurt. I made the whole thing up. I just really wanted to do something special for Maya's birthday." He looked at me with genuine guilt. "I know how hard you work for that money, so just think of the 20 grand as a loan. I will pay you back, I promise." "Then why did you tell Maya I was married?" I demanded. He paused for a moment, clearly hesitating. Then he put his arm around me and said, "Look, I know you have feelings for Maya too, but you should know she is into me, and things between us have already gone pretty far, if you know what I mean." It felt like a knife in my chest, a sharp and heavy pain. After a long moment, I pulled myself together and said, "I do not care about any of that. I just want to know why you told her I was married." Ryan explained. "Those two things had nothing to do with each other at first, but then Maya said that you had it really rough these past years, dropping out to work at a mine just to put me through school. She was worried you would keep struggling and said she needed to know you were settled before she would agree to date me, so I told her you were already married." I said, "Hold on, if you two have already been together like that, how are you still not officially dating? Then Maya must be that kind of girl, right?" Ryan let out a laugh. "Jake, you still do not get it when it comes to that kind of situation. Every girl pretty much reacts the same way deep down they want to, but they say no, and then one thing leads to another. And afterward, they just hope nobody finds out. Once you get a girlfriend, you will understand." Was Maya really that kind of person? My chest ached. Later, Ryan brought me into the private room full of Maya's friends. Near the end of the meal, a waiter rolled in a cake cart. Sitting on top of the roses was a small red box. Ryan opened it. Inside was a diamond ring. He picked it up and walked over to Maya. "Maya, will you be my girlfriend?" The whole room erupted. "Ryan, what are you doing? You said this was just dinner. Why would you get something this expensive? Take it back." "I am not accepting this." Maya pushed back quickly. But to me, it all felt like an act. They had already slept together, and now she was pretending to say no. Ryan adjusted his glasses and said, "Maya, I never confessed before, because I felt like I could not take care of you. But I graduated now. I believe I can make you happy, and Jake is married now too. So I have got nothing holding me back. Maya, give me a shot. Let me be there for you." Maya looked at me with a complicated expression. "Jake, do you have anything to say? Jake is my little brother. Of course he wants me to be with the person I care about, right, Jake?" Ryan shot me a loaded look. "I thought sure I have feelings for you. But I am some guy who did not even finish high school. What business do I have?" And on top of that, she had already been with Ryan, and she still had the nerve to ask my opinion. It was almost laughable. I knocked back a few drinks. "You two are great together. I hope you are happy." "So I guess I should thank you for the blessing," Maya said flatly. And right after that, she slipped the ring on in front of everyone. That night, Ryan got hammered, and Maya and I walked him home together. My family lived on the outskirts of the city, in an old rundown neighborhood where Maya used to live too, until her family got money and moved away after we got Ryan into bed. Maya sank onto the edge of the mattress, totally wiped out. "Maya, it is getting late. Let me walk you home." Maya glanced at me. "Who said I was going home tonight? I am your brother's girlfriend now. He is drunk. Should I not stay and look after him? When you get drunk, does your wife not take care of you?" I smiled bitterly. I do not have a wife. I do not even have a girlfriend. Why are you so quiet? Am I wrong? Staying here to take care of him is perfectly reasonable. And honestly, even sharing a room with him would make total sense, right? I thought, well, you two have already done that anyway. So what is the point of the act? Would your husband have waited until after the wedding? Maya kept pushing, and her face was dangerously close to mine. I stepped back quickly and said, let me go get things ready. You can sleep upstairs tonight. I will stay down here with Ryan. The second I turned around, she grabbed my arm and pulled me back. Why would I sleep upstairs? He just gave me this ring. That had to cost at least a few thousand. Your brother is so good to me. I should give him the most precious thing I have. Maya, your family is loaded, and one ring is all it takes to win you over. Maya scoffed like you have ever given me anything more valuable. I had nothing to say to that. Maya kept going. Let alone a gift. You probably forgot I even existed, right? No, I snapped back after I dropped out. I changed my number. Deleted her contact because I knew I would not be able to stop myself from reaching out. But her face never left my mind no matter how hard I tried. Then why did you never contact me these 4 years, and you got married into someone else's family? Maya pressed me hard and my mind went blank. I stumbled over my words and could not get anything out. Maya lost it. She snapped at me. Jake, you are always like this, just completely shut down. If you never say anything, how is anyone supposed to know what is going on inside your head? What have you even been doing these 4 years? Did you actually get married? Was your brother lying to me? Say something? I stayed quiet. She was with Ryan now. What good would the truth do finally? Maya looked at me with disappointment and went upstairs. I must have dozed off at some point because I suddenly felt something was wrong, and when I opened my eyes, everything was on fire. The house was burning. I rushed into Ryan's room and shook him awake. He panicked immediately and his first instinct was to bolt. I grabbed his arm and said, Maya is still upstairs. The fire was spreading fast and Ryan's face went white. He yanked free and ran out of the house to save himself. The roof was about to go. If I ran now, I could still make it, but what about Maya? I ran to the kitchen, soaked myself head to toe, and charged upstairs. Her room was completely engulfed. When I kicked the door open, Maya was already unconscious. I scooped her up and pushed through the flames. The smoke hit me so hard I could barely see straight, and the second we cleared the door, a burning beam came crashing down on my back and everything went black. When I came to, the fire had been put out by the neighbors. The house was reduced to ash and Maya was clinging to Ryan, sobbing. I asked Maya if she was okay and she just gave me a flat look and said, now you care, where were you when the house was burning? Thank God Ryan saved me or I would have been done for. I stared at Ryan in disbelief. He pulled Maya close and said, Maya, I told you. I will take care of you for the rest of my life, even if it costs me everything. I will always protect you, Ryan. You really came through. Thank you. The one who saved her was me, and what made it worse was that Ryan had the audacity to take the credit. I completely snapped. I yelled out, I was the one who saved you. Maya looked at me for a second, surprised. Then her face went back to cold. Ryan jumped right in and said, Jake, you saw the place on fire and ran, full well. I was the one who risked my life to get Maya out. So how does that become your win? What are you even trying to pull here? Besides, Maya is my girlfriend. I am the one who should be saving her. What business is it of yours, and why would she believe you over me? Maya gave me an icy look and said, Jake, your brother is right. Do you have any idea how much guts it takes to run into a burning building and save someone? If I really meant that much to you, you would not have gone 4 years without a single word. This conversation is over. I know exactly who I owe my life to. Faced with that, I went quiet again. That night showed me exactly who Ryan was after the house burned down. Maya brought Ryan back to her place. Her parents were not on board at first, but once they heard about Ryan running into a burning building to save her and the fact that he was a college grad, they let it go. I had nowhere to go. So I stayed next door with Aunt Carol, who asked me how the fire started. I had no clue. All I could guess was a short circuit. It was 3 days later when I found out it was arson. I was going through the rubble when a group of people suddenly showed up. Up front was a young woman in sunglasses with 4 or 5 big guys in black behind her. They did not look friendly. She scanned what was left of the house, walked right up to me and asked in a bossy tone, You are Ryan's little brother Jake, right? I asked warily. Who are you and what do you want? Answer my question first. Her voice had an edge to it. I said, yeah, I am Jake. She asked, so you were the one who pulled that girl out of the fire. Your own brother did not have the guts to go in, but you did it for her. What are you trying to do? Stab your brother in the back for that girl? She was talking about Maya. I tensed up. How did they know about this? That girl just would not die. The fire was not enough to finish her off. She said through gritted teeth. I said, who exactly are you and how do you know what happened that night? I paid someone to start that fire, so of course I know. She said with a cold laugh. Hearing that, I felt rage surge through me and I was about to move when those guys rushed me and pinned me to the ground. I could not do a thing. She said, if you want to walk out of here, tell me where Ryan is. She looked down at me and I kept my mouth shut. She crouched down and slapped me hard across the face, then snapped, what are you so tough for? Who do you think you are? You really want to act like this in front of me? Believe me, I will burn this place down again. Now talk. Where is Ryan hiding? If you do not say anything, then I am just going to take it all out on you. I have always been stubborn. I turned my head and said nothing. Hey, this kid is tough. Looks like we need to teach him a lesson before he takes us seriously. One of the guys cracked his knuckles and she waved him off. Then she pulled out her phone and dialed Ryan. If you do not want your little brother getting hurt, then get over here right now. She did not even finish the sentence before Ryan hung up. She tried again. It went straight to voicemail. She laughed in disbelief. So that is what a brother looks like. Now I have seen everything. Jake, your brother crossed me and now he is nowhere to be found. So I guess you are going to have to be my punching bag, she said. I said something like that does not deserve to be my brother. She paused, then had her guys drag me inside and introduced herself as Vivian. She was Ryan's college classmate, and he had chased her hard just to get close to her family's money and connections. But then she found out he was messing around with multiple women on campus, some of whom had gotten abortions because of him. Vivian was done and she came to make him pay. You ever heard of Woo Industries? I am the heiress. And your brother had the nerve to play me like that, so how does this get settled? I had no idea Ryan was this low, but then again, a guy who could use his own brother like a tool. There was nothing he would not do. I said, you already burned down our house. What more do you want? Vivian glanced at me and said, look, I found out Ryan was throwing that girl a birthday party, so I sent people to rough them up. But I did not know they would end up going back to your place. That part is on me, whatever the damages are. I will cover it. She tossed me a card and said there is $200,000 in there. That should more than cover the renovation. So the house is sorted, but what about what your brother did to me? You are his little brother, so how about you make it right for him? Before I would have done anything for Ryan without a second thought, but I was completely done with him now. I told her I dropped out and worked in a coal mine just to put him through school, suffered through everything, and nearly got buried alive. And what did he do? Blew my hard-earned money on women. Did he ever care whether I lived or died? He is his own person and I am my own going forward. His mess is not my problem. You think just because you cut ties with him, I will let you walk. You came from the same family, and if he is trash, what does that make you? I know you know where Ryan is. Pass this along to him. He has until sundown tomorrow to come find me on his own. This is his last chance. If he does not show up, I am not just coming for him. You and that girl are going to regret it too. Vivian patted my face and added the fact that you ran into that fire. To pull that girl out shows she means a whole lot to you. After Vivian left, I went to Maya's house. She opened the door smiling. But the moment she saw it was me, the smile vanished. She said flatly, "Oh, it is you. What do you want?" I said, "I am here for Ryan. He went out and is not back yet. Whatever it is, just tell me. This is not something you can handle since he is not here. I will just wait outside." I sat down on a bench by the pond near the entrance of the complex. Then I heard footsteps behind me, and Maya said, "I think I have a right to know what is going on with your brother." Her tone rubbed me the wrong way and I said with a cold laugh, "You just started dating him. How much say do you really have? And how much do you actually know about him?" Maya looked at me and said, "For 4 years you were basically a ghost. We tried every possible way to find you. And it turned out you just went off and married into another family. Pretty funny. So at least for these 4 years I know a lot more than you do." I laughed in disbelief if Ryan had no idea where I was. "Then why do you not ask him where the money he lived on these 4 years came from?" Maya's expression shifted. "You are saying, you were the one putting him through college this whole time." I said, "What is done is done. Maya, if you trust me at all even a little bit, you need to walk away right now if Ryan does not end things soon. He is going to drag you into serious trouble. You want me to break up with him just like that? Who do you think you are to tell me what to do? Your brother likes me. Do you like me too?" Maya demanded, frustration all over her face. "I like you. I have always liked you." I do not know where I found the nerve to say it out loud. But once it was out, I felt my heart racing and I could not look at her. We sat in silence for a long moment, then Maya suddenly snapped. "You like me then? Why did you not say something sooner?" That night, Ryan gave me the ring. I even asked you. You were the one who told me to say yes. Do you know that the truth is, I like you, Jake? Not your brother Ryan. All these years I have been waiting for you to say it. But you were always so quiet and closed off. If you never said it, how was I supposed to know? I was stunned she had feelings for me this whole time. Maya burst into tears and through her crying she said, "I already said yes to your brother and now you tell me you like me. Do you not think it is way too late for this, Jake? I hate you." She crouched down and sobbed into her hands and my heart was tearing apart. No wonder she asked for my opinion that night. She was waiting for me to say something. I was such an idiot. I actually believed Ryan when he said she was already his. I stumbled over my words and said, "Maya, I am so sorry. I am so sorry." Maya looked at me with red eyes full of anger. "You did not let me down. You let down everything I ever felt for you. All these years I kept giving you chances and this mess is entirely your own doing. Since we already missed our shot, this conversation is over. Just remember one thing from here on out. I am your brother's girlfriend. He risked his life to save me, and I will never do anything to betray him." I said the person who saved you that night was me, not Ryan. Maya gave me a cold sideways glance and laughed bitterly. "You really think I would believe that? Look, I will admit I used to like you. But after everything that has happened, I finally see exactly who you are. You kept saying you liked me, yet you never once reached out in 4 years. Instead, you went off and married into someone else's family. And while you were out living your life, did you ever stop to think about how I felt? And now you have the nerve to say you like me. What is wrong with you? One wife is not enough, so you want to mess with my feelings too. Jake, you are so fake. I never thought you would be this kind of person. Let me make this clear. Even if I were not your brother's girlfriend, I would never be with you. And from this point on, all I have for you is hate. All of this was Ryan's doing. He knew all along that Maya liked me, and that is why he lied and said I was married. But I could not just stand by and let her be dragged into this. I said the one who played you was not me. It was Ryan. He has been messing around with a lot of women. You are just one of many. Smack. Maya cracked me hard across the face. She said through clenched teeth, "Do not you dare trash talk Ryan. I know what kind of man he is a lot better than you do. You are the piece of trash, not him." My face burned, and my heart hurt even more right at that moment. Ryan came back. He saw Maya with tears in her eyes, and asked, "Did he do something to you?" "Jake, even though you are my little brother, Maya is someone I would give my life to protect. If you say one more bad word about him, do not blame me for throwing brotherhood out the window. This was all a show for Maya's benefit." Since we were already past the point of no return, I said coldly, "You say bad things. Do you know a woman named Vivian? She told me to pass along a message you have until sundown tomorrow. To go find her yourself or things are going to get real ugly." "Who is Vivian?" "I have no idea what you were talking about, Jake. I know exactly what you were trying to do. You just want Maya to leave me. But Maya is smarter than that. She will not fall for your little story. Maya, trust me. I genuinely do not know anyone named Vivian." Maya let out a small laugh and said, "Ryan, if I did not even have that much trust in you, then I would not deserve to be your girlfriend." Ryan looked absolutely smug and walked off with his arm around Maya. Then at nightfall, 2 of Vivian's guys showed up out of nowhere and brought me to a private resort on the outskirts of town. Vivian was in the card room with a noticeable birthmark under her left eye. "Did you take care of what I asked you to do yesterday?" I nodded and Vivian slammed the table. "Then why has he still not shown up? Does he really think I do not know where he is hiding?" One of the big guys quickly said, "Miss, I just got a call. They found him and they are bringing that woman Maya along with him." My gut dropped. Maya had been grabbed too. Vivian walked over to me and said, "If you had not led the way yesterday, I never would have known where those 2 were hiding." That is when I realized I had been followed. I quickly said, "Miss Vivian, Maya had no idea about you and Ryan. She is not the other woman here, so you should not be going after her." Vivian cut me off and said, "Shut it. Every time I hear about that little sweetheart, I get ticked off. Say one more word and I will have them cut your tongue out 10 minutes later." Ryan and Maya were brought in and Vivian Vivian went straight at Ryan. Throwing punches and kicks at him, Ryan tried to fight back but was immediately slammed down by one of the guys. "Stop it right now! What gives you the right to hit someone? I will call the police." Maya was scared out of her mind. Vivian looked at her with an ice-cold stare and said, well, you were actually pretty cute. No wonder Ryan would betray me for you. But crossing me comes with a serious price to pay," Ryan quickly said. "Maya, this is on me. I should not have lied to you. Vivian and I dated for a while, but I ended things when I realized we were not right for each other. You are the one I truly love." Vivian grabbed an ashtray and moved to throw it. She was held back by one of the guys. She said his worthless life is not worth enough to make me think twice. Vivian snorted and added, "Ryan, you listened to me very carefully. You did not dump me. I dumped you, and a lowlife like you is not even fit to tie my shoes. But you have already managed to seriously piss me off, and since you are so crazy about this little sweetheart, I am going to make you watch while I destroy her. I am going to make you wish you were dead." Vivian glanced at her guys and kept going. "Boys, tonight is your lucky night. This little sweetheart is a real catch, so just take it easy. I do not need anyone dying on me." The guy's eyes lit up, and they started dragging a screaming, fighting Maya toward the next room. Ryan dropped to his knees and grabbed Vivian's legs, begging, "Vivian, please, I am begging you. Do not hurt her. I will do anything you want. Anything, then get down on all fours and beg like a dog. And maybe I will let her go," Vivian said coldly. Ryan went pale and just froze. Too scared to move, Vivian kicked him away. "I knew you did not have the guts. I gave you a chance. So do not cry about me being heartless. Take her away." Maya was being dragged out. I pulled out that card and said, "Miss Vivian, I am giving you this 20,000 back. Please just let Maya go. I know 20 grand means nothing to you." Vivian stared me down coldly. "I know money is not the point, but the blame goes where it belongs, and Maya is completely innocent. Please let her go," I begged. Vivian looked at me for a few seconds and said, "Give me one of your arms. You got the nerve to do that, and I will set that little sweetheart free." I was terrified. Vivian scoffed. "Looks like you are just another spineless man. I will do it," I said out loud, "but you better keep your word." A flicker of surprise crossed Vivian's face and she gave a nod. Two guys walked over. One pressed my right hand flat against the table. The other raised a stool over his head. "Hey kid, think hard about this. Once I bring this down, that arm is finished. That girl is your brother's woman, and even he did not step up. So why are you playing hero?" I was sweating cold, but I could not let Maya go through that. I shut my eyes and braced myself. A loud crack rang out, followed by a scream. I snapped my eyes open. Ryan was clutching his right hand, his face twisted in agony. "Ryan, consider a square now. But hear me good. Do not ever come near me again. You are out of your league." Vivian tossed some cash for the medical bills and let them go. Maya broke down crying the moment she saw Ryan's hand, and she definitely assumed he had done it to save her. The truth was, Ryan never expected that stool to come down on him watching Maya look at him like that. Part of me wished I was the one who had taken the hit. Maya rushed Ryan to the hospital right away. I hated him, but I followed anyway. Ryan had multiple fractures in his right hand, and the next morning he was moved to a regular room. When I went in to check on him, he suddenly said, "Jake, you are my own brother, so why would you do this to me and Maya?" I had no idea what he was talking about, and Maya looked at me just as confused. Ryan kept going, "Do not play dumb. That card you have is from Vivian, right? It has 20 grand on it. Why would she give you that kind of money? She does not even know Maya. You had to have sold us out. I treated you like my own brother. And you tried to get me killed. Doing this to me is one thing, but Maya is innocent, and if I had not sacrificed my hand, those guys would have had their way with her. Jake, you could not have Maya, so you tried to destroy her. You are sick. Get out of here, and I do not want to see your face again." I never expected Ryan to turn it around and stab me in the back like that. Maya interrogated me coldly. "Jake is what Ryan said. True. Did you actually take money from that woman? The card is right on him. If you do not believe me, search him." And last night I heard her say with my own ears that the 20 grand was from Vivian. When she heard that Maya completely lost it, she screamed at me with red eyes, "Jake, you said you liked me, and this is how you show it, you heartless piece of trash. Get out of my sight. I never want to see you again." I tried to explain, but Maya was too far gone emotionally. She was not hearing any of it, and with Ryan pouring fuel on the fire, she turned on me like I was her enemy, shoving and kicking me out of the room. I was furious too. Why did she always believe Ryan? But never give me the benefit of the doubt for her sake. I ran into a burning building, and for her sake again. I was ready to give up an arm just to keep her safe, but everything I did could not hold a candle to a few words from Ryan. I was done. If she was so convinced Ryan was a good man, then fine, I would step aside. From here on out, her business was none of mine. I walked out of the hospital, and a nice car was parked right out front with the window halfway down. It was Vivian. She curled her finger at me and said, "Get in." I asked wearily, "Where to?" "You think I am going to eat you alive?" Vivian gave a smirk. "Sure, I have a birthmark on my face, but I have got money. Men line up to chase me, so a guy like you I might not even bother with." I hesitated for a moment, then walked over and asked, "Why did you bring me there today? Your problem is with Ryan. Why drag me into it? And now Ryan is out here saying I sold him out. It is his mouth. He can say whatever he wants. Nobody can stop him." Vivian gave me a light glance. "Besides, do you actually still care what that scumbag says? It is not Ryan I care about. It is what Maya thinks of me. Here's your card back." I tossed it through the window and turned to leave. "Hey, what is your problem? Just because Ryan said one thing, you are giving up 20 grand. This is not a bribe, it is compensation. You want to rebuild that house or not? You are from a wealthy family. Miss Vivian, as long as you leave me alone going forward, I will count myself lucky. Taking your money and then having it come back to bite me is not worth it." Vivian was from a whole different world. She and I had no business mixing, and if I took that money, whatever she came back to collect later would be worth a lot more than 20 grand. I had saved a little from those 4 years, and my plan was to find some steady work, then fix up the house once things were stable, but I kept getting turned down at every job for not having the right credentials. Then one afternoon in the alley, I ran into my childhood buddy Big Mike. Later we sat at a street barbecue stand drinking, and Big Mike said it was rough out there. Maybe better to come back home and make something work. I totally felt that Big Mike said he had spent a year learning how to do barbecue, and wanted to open a spot in the city but did not have the startup money. The owner of the stand we were sitting at overheard and came over with a beer. He said he had been at it for over 10 years and was tired of it. He wanted to sell and would take just the cost. Riding on the buzz from the drinks, Big Mike and I hashed it out, and bought the place for 120 grand. I put up the money, he put in the skill, and we split it 70-30 in my favor after renovating. We opened for real about 2 weeks later, and the first night was actually pretty good. Big Mike and I were slammed with customers, and it was not until Aunt Carol and her daughter came to help that we got any breathing room. After one group of customers cleared out a champagne-colored BMW pulled up to the curb. Ryan and Maya got out. Ryan said, "Maya, you should believe me now. If Vivian had not given him money, how else would he have been able to buy this place?" Ryan stared me down coldly. "Hey Jake, is that not Ryan and Maya?" Big Mike nudged me. "Keep working. Do not worry about them." I turned and headed back inside. "Jake, get over here. I need to talk to you," Ryan called after me. I walked over and said flatly, "What do you want?" Ryan adjusted his glasses. "The house burned down, there is nothing left to do with it. Someone wants to buy the property, so I'm thinking about selling." "Sell the house? Absolutely not. That is the only thing Mom and Dad left us." Ryan frowned and said the place burned to the ground. "What is the point of holding on to it? I am the older one. This is my call, and whether you agree or not will not change the outcome. They are offering 40 grand and we split it down the middle. Even after everything you did to me, I am still not going to shortchange you. You get every cent that is yours." "No way," I laughed in disbelief and said the house burned down. "You know exactly why that happened, Ryan. That was left to us by Mom and Dad, and I have a stake in it too. Until I say yes, nobody is selling anything." Ryan went red in the face, then Maya said, "The house is in that condition, keeping it around really does not make sense." "Stay out of it," I snapped. "You are his girlfriend, not even his fiancée. You have no business weighing in on selling my family's house. That was the first time I had ever raised my voice at her." Maya went pale and went quiet. Ryan thought for a moment and said, "All right, how about this? The property is half mine. I will sell my half, that works, right?" I was seething. "Ryan, you are a college graduate. Do you really need to sell property to get by? And besides, is she not your girlfriend? Her family has plenty of money, so with that smooth talk of yours, maybe just let her take care of you, since apparently some people are easy to fool." "Who exactly are you calling easy to fool?" Maya snapped, and Ryan said through gritted teeth, "Jake, shut your mouth. I am with Maya because I actually care about her. Not because of her family's money. I'm going to give her a good life on my own. Not by freeloading, and you think I am like you selling out your own brother just to open this little barbecue joint. I have got some self-respect." I just laughed. Aunt Carol and Big Mike rushed over to smooth things over. Aunt Carol smiled and said, "Ryan, the house thing can wait. There is no rush on any of that. Today is Jake's grand opening. If you two are not busy, why not stick around and show your support? Ryan and Maya tonight is on me. Come on and give my cooking a try. Tell me what needs work. I would love your honest feedback." Big Mike grinned, and Ryan and Maya ended up staying. While Big Mike was pouring tea, Ryan said with a snide tone, "Mike, you and Jake are running this place together, and since we go way back, let me give you a heads up. Jake is the type who would sell out his own blood for money. Going into business with him, you better watch your back, or you will end up getting played and will not even see it coming." I was burning inside, but Aunt Carol shot me a look to let it go. Big Mike scratched his head and said, "Ryan, bro, Jake and I grew up together. He is not like that." Ryan kept a straight face and said, "People change," and Maya added without expression, "Mike, just keep one thing in mind. You do not need to go looking for trouble, but you better not be naive either." That evening, another table came in, 7 or 8 young guys who sounded like they worked in used car sales. That crowd is usually trouble, so I was extra careful with them. But of course, the thing you dread most is the thing that happens. While Aunt Carol was serving, one of the guys tried to grab her leg. Aunt Carol lost it and slapped him without hesitation, and those guys immediately flipped the table and smashed the benches. Threatening to drag Aunt Carol off, I tried everything to talk them down. But nothing worked, and they were about to get physical with me. When Ryan saw that, he grabbed Maya and bolted, scared of getting caught up in it. "Ryan, we have known Aunt Carol since we were kids, and we are right here. We cannot just let them do whatever they want," Maya said. Ryan shrank back and told her, "Maya, keep your voice down. Do not let them hear you. These are used car guys. At the end of the day, they are just a legal front for shady business. This is way above our heads. Vivian threw him some chump change, and now he thinks he can run a business. He has no idea what he is in for. You deal with all kinds out here, and if you want to survive, you need friends on both sides of the law. If the place gets trashed, even better, since the money he opened with was dirty anyway. That is what he deserves." Maya glanced over at me, her expression unreadable, but she stopped herself. "Maya, do not forget how this hand of mine got hurt," Ryan said. "If he had not sold us out, we never would have ended up in Vivian's hands. And you would not have almost gone through what almost happened. Even if this started because of me, he still should not have used money to hurt us." Hearing that, something shifted in Maya's eyes, and she turned and walked toward the car. Right at that moment, over a dozen luxury cars pulled up along the street, and a group of young guys and girls got out. The most expensive car belonged to Vivian. Vivian stepped out with her sunglasses on, took one look at the mess, and immediately asked Jake what happened here. "Who did this to the place?" She turned and spotted Ryan and Maya. Ryan tensed up and quickly said, was not me, it was them. "Yeah, like you would dare," Vivian scoffed, and walked straight up to the bald guy. The two sides exchanged heated words. "You trashed the wrong shop." Those guys took one look at the crew behind her. Figured out these people were a big deal and held back. The bald guy said coolly, "Look, lady, I would stay out of this if I were you. We are from City Motors, and our boss goes by the name Big Tony. You have probably heard of him." Smack before he could finish, Vivian slapped him clean across the face. "Maybe you should be asking if he has heard of Wu Industries." Vivian's presence crushed the bald guy completely. Honestly, Vivian caught me off guard. She was a rich heiress standing face to face with street tough guys without flinching. What surprised me even more was why she was going to bat for me. She turned to the whole group and said loud and clear, "Everyone listen up. Jake is my guy, and whoever has a problem with him has a problem with me." Vivian said it with such force everyone froze. I jumped in and said, "Since when am I your guy? Don't go saying stuff like that." I'm grateful to her, but you can't twist the facts. Vivian just gave a faint smile, caught me off guard and grabbed my chin, and said with absolute certainty, "You weren't before. But from this moment on, you, Jake, are my guy now. I've got your back from now on. Anyone messes with you, you tell me and I'll handle it." I never dreamed she'd mess with me like that. I backed off fast, my face burning hot. Ryan's eyes were full of hate, radiating anger. His backup's here, so why are you still standing there? Maya's expression was complicated. She bit her lip and shot me a glare. Even the bald guy chickened out, bowing and scraping with sweet talk. Vivian glanced at him and said ice cold, "I know Bald Lou used to run with gangs, but when it comes to bad news, I'm not scared of anyone." Right then, the bald guy was nodding and bowing non-stop. "Since you two seem sorry enough, I'll let it slide today. But you're paying full price for everything you broke. Any objections?" No, that's only fair. I'll cover it all." Vivian told me to tally it up. I didn't bother, he owed me anyway. In the end, the bald guy tossed $2 grand at Aunt Carol and apologized, then bolted. Aunt Carol walked over and said, "Miss Wu, I really can't thank you enough today. If you hadn't stepped in, they never would have let it go. Auntie, don't mention it. Jake and I go way back, his business is my business. Vivian glanced at me with a half smile and I instinctively looked away. Couldn't figure out why she was helping me. The big guy grinned and said, Jake, you actually know Miss Wu. How come you never mentioned a rich girl like her? With Miss Wu watching over this place, we're gonna be just fine from now on. No problem, I'm Vivian. If anything comes up, just drop my name. Both sides of the street will show me some respect. Vivian said it with total confidence after that day. Vivian came by every day with a crowd of rich kids, a dozen fancy cars parked out front, sticking out like a sore thumb. I knew they didn't actually like street food. They were only there because of Vivian dropping at least a couple grand a day. I opened this place to make money, but after a while, it didn't sit right with me. We barely knew each other. Why was she going out of her way like this? A few days later, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to get a straight answer out of her that night. Business was still going strong. Ryan and Maya showed up again. I thought they came to eat, but Ryan called me over by name, so I went. Ryan cut right to the chase. I sold the house for 400 grand. 200 each. I told you I wouldn't short you a single cent. Your 200 grand is on this card, and he tossed the bank card on the table. I completely lost it, lunged forward and grabbed him by the collar. Clenched my fist ready to deck him. Maya rushed in to break it up. Ryan said, Maya, just let him hit me, I won't fight back. He's got backup, now he's latched onto the Wu family tree. What am I even worth in his eyes anymore? Jake let go of Ryan. Don't think just because someone's got your back you can do whatever you want. Maya was seething. I had someone look into it. Fixing up your family's house would cost at least 200 grand, and even after fixing it up, you'd be lucky to sell it for 500. Someone offered 400 grand for the place. That's a rare deal. Selling was the right move, and Ryan didn't short you a penny anyway. Even after everything you did to him, he still didn't screw you over. And you're still not satisfied. That house was left by our parents. It's our family's legacy. Once it's sold, the connection is gone. I couldn't hold back and slam my fist into Ryan's face. He's never been tough. One punch from a guy who did 4 years of hard labor put him flat on the ground. Maya shoved me aside and helped Ryan up. Jake, you are a complete and total jerk. Ryan put on his innocent act. Maya, don't hold him back. Let him hit me. Let's see if he has the guts to kill me or cripple me. That just made me angrier. I was about to swing again. The big guy pulled me away fast. All the customers were watching. It looked bad. Ryan, you just wait, threatening me. Jake, if anything happens to me from now on, I'll know it was you. Ryan, get in the car. He's lost his mind, totally unreasonable. Maya shoved Ryan into the car and drove off, but a moment later the car came back. Maya got out by herself and stood by the curb. I walked over to her. Don't you think you've gone way too far? You and Ryan are brothers by blood, and even after what you did to him, he still thinks about your bond, but what about you? You keep hurting him over and over, destroying whatever's left between you two. I really never thought in just 4 years you'd turn into this. Willing to do anything for money. Does money really mean that much to you? I know your family had it rough, but at least you and your brother had each other. And now look at you two, at each other's throats. Is this really what you wanted, Jake? One day you'll regret this. I said, are you here to lecture me about life or to fight for your precious man? You can't even teach your own man, right? What makes you qualified to lecture me? Maya froze for a second. You keep saying Ryan wronged you, but what exactly did he do? Spell it out. What did he do to you? Let me ask you, Miss Chen, if I told you, would you even believe me? If I told you I was the one who pulled you out of the fire that night, would you believe it? If I said I never sold you out, would you believe it? That day, Vivian told me to give up an arm to keep you safe, and I agreed. Would you believe that too? In your eyes, Ryan is always the good guy, and I'll always be the villain. In those few seconds, her face went from shock to doubt to deep thought, and finally turned cold. I want to believe you, but that's not what I saw the night of the fire. I woke up in Ryan's arms. While you were still passed out cold, how does an unconscious guy save someone? You say Vivian let me go that day because of you, but all I saw was Ryan being the one who got hurt. You didn't even have a scratch. Tell me, how am I supposed to believe that? Just stop. Fine, I'm the bad guy. Are you happy now? You said you never wanted to see me again. Well, let me tell you, I don't want to see you either. Don't come around bothering me anymore. I was about to explode. Maya was just as furious right then. Vivian showed up again with her rich crew. She told the others to go on ahead, then glanced at Maya. Jake, what did she want with you? Let me warn you. You're my guy now. Don't you dare do me wrong, or you'll end up worse than that scumbag Ryan. Your guy? Did you even bother to ask if he's married? You say he's your guy. Did you ask his wife how she feels about that? Vivian froze, stared at me and asked, you're married? So you still think she's as honest and simple as she seems? She even told me she liked me. If you're fine with him being a married man, then I wish you both the best. Jake, this is the last time I'm coming to you. From now on, we're strangers. Maya said her piece and drove off. Vivian grabbed my ear and dragged me inside. Everyone stared at me with these weird looks. She pulled me into an empty private room. Vivian let go and kicked me in the leg. You jerk, you better come clean with me. Are you married or not? She took off her sunglasses. Sat down fuming. Spill it. If you're hiding something, you'll be very sorry. What does my being married or not have to do with you? Vivian slammed the table. Everything. If you're married, it messes up my plan. What plan? What are you up to now? Just tell me if you're married or not first. I sighed and shook my head. Then why did that cutie just say you were married? I said, it's all Ryan's scheme. So what you're saying is that cutie actually likes you, and Ryan lied to her about you being married so he could have her. And all this drama between you and Ryan is over that cutie. I said, Miss Wu, you're supposed to be a classy lady. Don't talk like that. Maya's just been fooled by Ryan. She's not some cutie. Vivian let out an angry laugh. Oh, so now you're getting defensive. She only has eyes for Ryan. There's no room for you in her heart. You defend her like that. Don't you think that makes you a cutie too? The word cutie was harsh, but she had a point. She thinks I'm the bad guy, and I'm still out here looking out for her. If that's not being a simp, then what is? I got annoyed and glanced at Vivian. You guys don't need to come support the business anymore. You've spent a lot of money here these past days. I know they only come because of you, but this isn't right. I don't feel good taking this money. You're the boss. We're the customers. We choose to spend our money here. What's not to feel good about? Just tell me straight. What do you want me to do for you? But I'm limited. I might not be able to help. Looks like you're not so clueless after all. Vivian suddenly sat right in front of me, staring at me with a big smile. I want you to be my boyfriend. I shot up out of my seat, totally stunned. Why so worked up? You think I'm ugly too? The thing is, she's not ugly. It's just that birthmark. Guess you're just like Ryan, no taste at all. Just as much of a cutie. You were born with a silver spoon. I'm not in your league. You're lying through your teeth. Deep down, you think I'm ugly. I kept shaking my head. Then be my boyfriend. What do you want? I'll give you whatever you want if money can make it happen. This lady can make it happen for you. Miss Wu, can money buy feelings? Of course not. Well, since you get that, then why make me be your boyfriend? You know perfectly well. I like someone else a cutie. You both actually like her. What's so special about her? She's just a little prettier than me, that's all. If it weren't for this birthmark on my left eye, I'd be prettier than her. I won't let that cutie off easy. I heard her parents are in the herbal medicine business. They made some decent money a few years back here in the city. One word from me could wipe out the entire Chen family, you believe that? I didn't doubt her power one bit. Vivian saw I wasn't saying anything, and glanced at me. Why not think about it? Being my boyfriend only has upsides, no downsides. After she said that, she pulled out her phone and tapped a few times. Take a look at this. I took the phone and looked. It was an electronic home purchase contract. The house being bought and sold was my family's old place. Stella Ryan Bayer Hujo, how did you get this contract? Vivian just smiled at me and said nothing. A wild guess flashed through my mind. I asked carefully. You're the one who bought my family's house. Any problem with that? Your family's house is worth 700 or 800 grand at best, and my offer was 1 million. A greedy guy like Ryan, wouldn't he sign the contract immediately? 1 million. But Ryan clearly said 400 grand. I looked at the contract closely. It really did say 1 million, and then it hit me. Ryan skimmed 800 grand for himself, that bastard. No wonder he took the initiative to give me money. He had a guilty conscience. I heard you were totally against selling the house. Because your parents left it to you shows you're someone who values loyalty. So here's the deal. Let's make a trade. As long as you agree to be my boyfriend for 3 months, I'll give the house back to you. Then the house will belong to you and only you, not a single cent to do with Ryan. How about that? 3 months for $1 million house? I was tempted not for the money, but to get the old house back. Still, I had my doubts. Why would she go through all this trouble to make me her boyfriend? This had nothing to do with feelings. A man should act like a man, don't be like a woman. Hemming and hawing, never able to decide, you'll never get anywhere. Give me a straight answer, are you in or not? I got caught up in the moment and said yes. I didn't expect Vivian to walk right out and announce our relationship. The rich kids who came with her immediately swarmed around me, acting like we'd been best friends for years. That night they stayed really late. The big guy came over and said, Jake, you're moving up in the world, don't forget about your buddy here. I'll fetch your tea, pour your water. Work like a dog, anything you need, just say the word. It's not as simple as you think, and I'm not moving up anywhere. Jake, guess you still don't see me as a real brother. I shoved his head. Get back to work, stop daydreaming. Jake, but there's one thing I really gotta ask you. How did things between you and Ryan get this bad? Is it because of Maya? Honestly, even if you don't say it, I can tell the one you like is Maya. You've liked her since you were kids. Hearing Maya's name, my heart ached dully. I gave a bitter smile and let it go. The next morning, I had just finished breakfast when Vivian came to find me, Jake, as my boyfriend. Aren't you obligated to go shopping with me, Miss Wu? I'm just a fake boyfriend, fake or not. A fake boyfriend is still a boyfriend. I said I didn't have time, I needed to buy ingredients. Let the big guy handle that small stuff. Your job is to keep me happy. Making money doesn't even matter, I can just support you. I rolled my eyes hard, but in the end, she pressured and sweet-talked me into going. Vivian drove a convertible, no makeup, dressed simple, and gave off this confident beauty. A while later, the car stopped outside a high-end mall. Vivian took me to the men's section on the 4th floor. She wanted to buy me clothes. It was hard for me to accept, so I politely declined. But Vivian said, so nothing here catches your eye. That's not it, I have clothes to wear. Vivian looked me over. Dressed like that, what woman would even give you a second look? Right now, you're my boyfriend. Even if you don't care about saving face, you gotta think about how I feel. I mean, if I take you out, and you're dressed like some country bumpkin, how embarrassing is that, miss? Bring out the most expensive menswear in the store. The server heard money was no object and couldn't stop grinning. Brought over a few pieces, sir. Why don't you try them on first, see if they fit? Don't bother trying, just wrap them all up. Vivian waved her hand off, a total little rich girl move. 3 pieces total, 19,800. I was secretly shocked. Muttered under my breath, let's just forget it. It's way too expensive clothes this pricey are wasted on me. Vivian shot me a side eye. You think I'm short on cash? Just swipe the card. I was seriously speechless. We shopped for a long time. My legs were about to give out when Vivian took me to this nice quiet cafe nearby to rest. Not long after, 3 young people walked in. Talk about bad luck, it was Ryan and Maya. And some guy in a suit with them. Vivian and I were sitting in the corner. They didn't spot us after the 3 sat down. The guy in the suit smiled and said, Mr. Zhang, Miss Chen, you two have great taste. The apartment's layout and natural light are both excellent. So they were looking to buy a place. Vivian sipped her coffee, so they're buying a place. Looks like they're getting ready to tie the knot hearing the word marriage. Left a bad taste in my mouth, Manager Lee. Let's leave it here for now, we'll talk it over. If we're both on board, I'll get back to you later. Alright, I'll wait for your call then. After the guy in the suit left, Ryan asked Maya, what do you think of that place? Are you happy with it? Maya nodded. It's just the price is a bit steep. Nice places sell fast. It's normal for them to jack up the price as long as you're happy. Let's put down the deposit and the old house is sold too. I'm a grown man, I can't just keep crashing at your family's place. I know you don't mind, but over time, I'm afraid your parents might have something to say, so I gotta sort out the housing first. Ryan took Maya's hand and went on. Besides, didn't your parents want us to set a wedding date soon? Getting engaged without a house, it doesn't sound good. When word gets around, Maya smiled a little. But you only have 200 grand and I can only put in 200 grand at most. That apartment costs 2 million, let's just make the down payment. I'll pay off the rest little by little, you won't look down on me, right? But seriously, your family is so well off. Your parents are such nice people and I don't even have a house. You're really settling by being with me, Ryan? Come on, don't say that. You treat me so well and you're the one who saved my life. How could I ever look down on you? Plus, you just graduated college. I believe you're gonna do great things in the future, you know what? I'll go home and talk to my parents, see if they can put up some spare cash to buy the place outright. We'll just call it a loan and I'll pay it back with you later. The down payment route isn't worth it. How can I be okay with that? I'm a grown man. Why be so formal with me? Yeah, that's true, we're getting married someday. Even you will be mine someday! Heh! Maya's pretty face went a little red. Ryan got $1 million from selling the old house, but lied to Maya saying it was only 200 grand. This way he could swindle over $1 million more out of her. Buying a house in full, what a slick move. Vivian suddenly snorted coldly seeing that pair of dogs. Just makes my blood boil. Jake, let's go somewhere else. This dump lets any kind of riffraff in. I'm never coming back here again. Ryan and Maya looked our way. Ryan's eyes hit a burning anger, but he was too scared to say a word, Vivian. We've already been patient enough with you. But you're going way too far. I know Ryan chased you once, but that's in the past. Why do you have to keep pushing it? Maya stood up and went head to head with her. Ryan tugged at her, signaling her to drop it. Even if you're the daughter of the Wu family, doesn't mean you can trample on people's dignity. The word dignity coming out of your mouth is nothing but a joke. Aren't you embarrassed? I'm embarrassed for you, one heartless and ungrateful. The other blind as a bat, calling you two a pair of dogs. Isn't off the market. All blind as I am, at least I can still tell right from wrong. And know who's good and who's bad. Just days ago he said he liked me, and now suddenly he's with you. You can fall for a two-faced guy like that. So which one of us is really blind? Vivian didn't lose an ounce of fire against Maya. The blind one is obviously you. Was there even any comparison between Ryan and Jake? He's not even worthy of tying Jake's shoes. Take a good look at that smug, sleazy face of his. The guy doesn't even need glasses, but he still wears those ugly frames. Afraid people might not know he's a college grad. So what if he has a degree? A shallow, heartless guy like that, he's peaked and it's all downhill from here. Jake might not have finished high school, but at least he's a man who values loyalty and love. So I like him. Got a problem with that. Maya went pale with rage. She said Jake was loyal and caring. I really never saw that myself. That is exactly why you are blind. Oh, is that so? I would love to hear you explain, Miss Wu. Just how exactly is Ryan so loyal and caring, and to who? Vivian let out a tired sigh and walked up to Ryan, looking him over with obvious interest. Ryan looked nervous and uneasy, clearly scared of Vivian. Seriously, Chen, do you actually think this piece of trash is a good guy? Vivian stared Ryan down with nowhere to hide. Let me be straight with you. When he was chasing me, he pulled every trick in the book. Later, I found out he had been messing around with tons of women. Plenty of them had abortions because of him. Tell me, is a guy who plays women like that not heartless? Compare that to Jake, who has only ever had eyes for one person. And that person is you, so you tell me who is the loyal one. Ryan jumped in, trying to defend himself. Maya, do not listen to her garbage. I am not that kind of person back in school. I was focused on finishing my degree. I did not have time to mess around with anyone. Maya looked over at Ryan. Ryan, you do not have to explain yourself. After all these years, you think I do not know who you are? I am heartbroken. Burning inside. Vivian, just stop. You could talk until you run out of breath and he still would not believe you. No wonder you risked your life to pull her out of that fire, but in the end she gave all the credit to this piece of trash. Jake, you deserve better than that, but as long as you treat me right, I see it and I will always remember it. She grabbed my arm and linked hers through mine. I was actually in a pretty good mood until we ran into these two. Jake let us go somewhere else. I wanted to confront Ryan about the house money, but Vivian dragged me away before I could. As we left, I caught Maya looking at Ryan differently. For the first time, there was doubt in her eyes. After everything that happened, she was finally starting to question him. Whether Ryan was really the stand-up guy he pretended to be, but Ryan was good at playing the act. He might never let her see through him. Not long after we left the cafe, we ran into two big guys dressed in black. Get out of the way. Vivian seemed to recognize them. Miss Wu, our boss would like to invite you to dinner. He really hopes you will join him. Just because he wants to see me means I have to show up. Who do you think I am? That is honestly ridiculous. Go back and tell Qinhua I am not interested. And I already have a boyfriend, so tell her to stop bothering me. Vivian had her arm hooked through mine. At the time, those two big guys shot me a cold look. Miss Wu, you should say that to our boss in person. Then they both moved to grab Vivian. She was no match for them. She could not do a thing. Jake, help me. I gritted my teeth and rushed in, but before I could throw a punch, I got kicked to the ground. One of them got in my face. Listen up, kid, back off or I will make you regret it. That just made me more stubborn. I got back up and lunged. Use the momentum to knock them both down. Go now. But I cannot hold them much longer. Just go. I pinned both of them down. Fighting was not my strong suit, but after 4 years in the mines, I had raw power. Vivian hesitated for a second, then got in her car and took off. Those two got up and kicked me hard a few times. Quit it. Go after Vivian. They got in their car and sped off. Ryan and Maya walked out of the cafe right then and saw me all roughed up. Ryan smirked. Living off the Wu family is not as easy as it looks, huh? You really think Miss Wu actually likes you? Please, she is just playing you. Maya ran over and helped me up. You okay? Where are you hurt, Maya? She did this to herself. Do not feel sorry for her. Ryan shot me a look and tried to pull Maya away. I am fine. This is nothing. 4 years in the mines, I got hurt way worse. Maya frowned slightly, her eyes full of questions. Ryan said through clenched teeth, and you had it coming. Maya let us go. Ignore him. He was clearly scared Maya would find something out, so he dragged her away fast. A few minutes later, I walked out of the shopping district. A convertible pulled up in front of me. Jake, are you okay? If it was not for you back there, they would have dragged me off for sure. Thank you. Vivian got out and looked me over. I told her I just took a few kicks. It was nothing. You shook them off too easy? You just shook off two guys like that. No big deal. Get in, let me take you to the hospital to get checked out. I kept saying I did not need to go. You sure? Vivian looked at me. I nodded. She smiled and said, good. You saved me today. How can I make it up to you? How about I take you to dinner? She pushed me into the car and took me to a fancy upscale restaurant. The prices were insane. Vivian ordered the most expensive things on the menu. The meal with drinks ran over 10 grand. Did you get enough? Honestly, I had only eaten about half my fill, but the bill was way too high. So I said yes, I was full. Vivian pulled out her phone to pay, then suddenly said, oh no, my card is empty. She had already spent 20 grand on clothes for me, and I was about to offer to transfer her the money. So I said I would cover dinner, but Vivian looked at me sideways. You rich or something? Come on. I followed her to the entrance, and she suddenly grabbed my hand and said, run. Before I even knew what was happening, she yanked me out the door. Restaurant staff came pouring out, chasing after us, yelling, you people seriously think you can dine and dash here? Catch them. Do not let them get away. We sprinted across 2 blocks and ducked into some bushes in a nearby park. They could not find us and eventually left cursing under their breath. Vivian caught her breath and said $10,000. Was all that running really worth it? That almost killed me. I said, Miss Wu, are we going to get recognized? I do not care about myself, but this could hurt your reputation. You know who owns that restaurant? I shook my head. Vivian said it is Qinhua, those two guys in black we ran into earlier. They work for Qinhua. It all clicked for me then. She was not broke. She had zero intention of paying from the start. I could not help but laugh. What are you smiling at? Vivian looked over at me nervously, then glanced down at her chest. She obviously got the wrong idea. I quickly said nothing. I just never expected a girl like you to pull a stunt like that. So what, rich girls are not allowed to have fun? Rich girls are people too. They are gone now. Let us head out. She stood up as she said it. A sharp sound cut through the air. I looked up, and my jaw dropped. Vivian's knit cardigan had caught on a branch. The zipper slid down and we both froze. Then a scream rang out. Vivian quickly covered her chest with her arms. Furious and flustered, you still looking? I will gouge your eyes out. I turned away fast. Vivian zipped herself back up and stormed out. When I followed her out, her cheeks were bright red. She gave me a strange look. Jake, I am going to say this up front. Even though you are my boyfriend right now until I say otherwise. You better not get any ideas, and if you ever try to pull something, I will kill you, got it? I said relax, I'm a fake boyfriend anyway. Fair enough, let us go. She grabbed my arm again and walked close that afternoon after Vivian left. I headed over to the BBQ spot. Maya's BMW was parked out front. Did Ryan come looking for trouble again? One of the servers rushed over and said, "Boss, that girl with the last name Chen from last night came back. She is in the private room talking right now." I walked toward the private room and right outside the door I heard the big guy say, "Maya, we grew up together and I am telling you, Jake is not the person you think he is. There's gotta be some kind of misunderstanding between you two, and I can tell that Jake still has feelings for you. But now that you are with Ryan, Jake has gotta be hurting inside too." Hee Chang-do, you know Jake is married, Maya asked. "Married? No way." Hee Chiang sounded certain. Jake and I have been running this BBQ place for almost a month now. We have been around each other practically every day. If Jake was really married, his wife would have called him by now. There is no way I would not know about it. Maya, who told you Jake was married, was it Ryan? Yeah, they are brothers by blood. Ryan would never joke about something like that. Maya said Ryan told me Jake got married a long time ago, and that he actually moved into his wife's family home. During the years Ryan was in college, Jake would send him money regularly. So Jake believes he is the one who put Ryan through school, and that is the whole reason things got so bad between them. That does not add up. Last month when I first met Jake, he told me after he dropped out of school he went to work in the coal mines in Shanxi. He spent those 4 years working underground. Right before he came back there was a cave-in and he nearly got buried alive. Every dollar he has is from hard work, not from some cushy setup. Maya, you really have the wrong idea about Jake. Coal mines. Maya's voice shifted noticeably. Just then, one of the servers called out from the hallway, "Boss, there are customers." Well, since I had already been caught, I went ahead and pushed the door open. Hee Chang, customers are here. Are you going to do your job or not? Hee Tio saw the look on my face and quickly ducked out. Miss Chen, I would appreciate it if you did not come back here anymore. You are not welcome. I turned to leave, then Maya called out sharply and blocked my path. Staring me down, she asked seriously, "Are you really not married?" I said whether I am married or not is none of your business. Maya went pale with anger and grabbed my hand. She pried my fingers open and stared at my palm, then stopped cold. After 4 years of hard labor, my hands were covered in thick calluses. I had been resting for a while now and they were starting to peel, but there was no mistaking it. These were not the hands of someone living easy. Maya's eyes filled up. "Jake, your hands," I said, "tough luck." "That is just how it is." I pulled my hand back. "You dropped out of school to put your brother through college." Maya looked absolutely shattered. Her expression crumbled like she had just taken a blow she could not recover from. I said I do not have a brother and I do not have family ties. All I care about now is money. Maya asked again. "That night of the fire, was it really you who saved me?" I let out a cold laugh. "You really think a heartless guy like me would risk his life to save you? Come on, Miss Chen, give me a break. The one who saved you was Ryan playing the hero. Rescuing the girl in distress, that is his kind of move. There are customers, I need to get back to work." "Do whatever you want." I said it with a straight face and walked out. Maya left with a complicated expression. She kept glancing back at me for a short stretch that was barely a few dozen feet. She took 12 full minutes to walk it. She had just left when a young guy at the table next to us spoke up, "Go get your manager." I turned to look. The guy was in his late 20s, well-dressed, calm and collected. With this quiet air of old money, I walked over and said, "Hi, I am the owner." The young man glanced up at me and took a sip from his own bottle of water. His fingers were long and smooth, clearly someone who had never done a hard day of work in his life. "You are Jake," I nodded. "Do you know who I am?" I had no idea. "The name is Qin. Wait, Qin, could this be Qinhua?" He caught the shift in my expression and smiled slightly. "Looks like you already figured it out then. Let us just cut to the chase. Vivian is not someone you should be messing around with. Back off and name your price." So he came here to put me in my place, honestly. Me and Vivian is just a business deal. I play her boyfriend for 3 months, she gives me back my house. I did not know before why she set this up, but now it made sense. I was her shield, but since I already agreed, I was going to see it through. I said, "Qin, what happens between me and Vivian is our personal business." Qinhua raised an eyebrow and gave a dismissive smirk when it comes to anything involving Vivian. "I have every right to step in. Let me be real with you. I like her too. You think you have what it takes to compete with me. Not trying to come at you, but this beat-up little BBQ shack of yours, how much do you even make in a year? Probably not enough to cover her spending money. You think you can actually take care of her? Just name your number. As long as it is not completely out of line, I will make it happen." His bossy attitude was really getting under my skin. I said, "Qin, since you put it that way, let me ask you something then. If you are so loaded, how come Vivian still wants nothing to do with you?" Qinhua's face went stone cold. He slammed the table hard. "Jake, I have been more than patient with you. Do not push your luck. I am not exaggerating. I can shut this place down in a heartbeat. You really want to test me on that? You want to do this the easy way or the hard way?" I smiled bitterly and said, "Not really." Qinhua pointed right at me. "I am giving you 3 days. If you are not done with Vivian by then, do not blame me for what comes next." With that, he kicked over the stool and walked out. Hee Chang ran over and asked, "Jake, who was that guy? He seemed like a big deal." I said, "Someone we do not want to mess with." Hee Chang frowned really. "But Miss Wu has our back, right? This place is under her protection." I rolled my eyes. Did not even bother responding. After that, the shop got busy, and I forgot all about it. But 3 nights later, I was in the back helping out when a loud crash came from outside. I rushed out and found over 20 guys dressed in black smashing up the place. Customers were scattering everywhere. The whole floor was a mess. Hee Chang was livid, clenching his jaw ready to throw down. I grabbed him before he could do anything. Chang, cool it. Before the guys in black left, one of them pointed at me and said, Chin said, this is just a warning if you still do not do what he says after this. Then you are on your own after they cleared out. The customers all left too. Chang and I were cleaning up the wreckage when Vivian showed up with 7 or 8 of her friends and saw the damage. Vivian immediately turned to Jake and asked what happened. I shook my head and said it is nothing. Chang jumped in, Miss Wu. Someone trashed our place, I shot him a look. Vivian was furious, this is absolutely unacceptable. Chang, who did this? I will make sure they pay for it. Chang looked at me hesitating. I did not want to blow this up. Vivian got right in my face and demanded, Jake, say something. Who did this, Jake? Just tell Vivian. Look how worried she is, you are her boyfriend. Whoever trashed your place is basically disrespecting Vivian. You cannot just let this slide. Her friends all chimed in at once. Chang finally could not keep his mouth shut. Miss Wu. It was someone named Chin. He came to find Jake 3 days ago. Told him to stay away from you, but Jake said no. So he sent people to get back at us, Chin Hua. Vivian gritted her teeth and went off on him. That jerk has completely lost his mind. I said with a smile, it is not that big a deal. I will let it go. Chang was fired up. Jake, this is a big deal. Those punks left a threat on the way out. I do not think Chin is done with you. Do not worry, I will handle this. Vivian thought for a moment, then turned to her friends. Stop standing around and give us a hand cleaning up. The shop was trashed, so we shut down early. Vivian sent her friends ahead and drove me home herself. I am really sorry, I never thought Hua would come after you like this. Vivian looked genuinely guilty. You made me your shield from the beginning, right? This was always a straight up deal, we both get something out of it. So you do not owe me an apology. I said I would hold up my end and I will, just as long as you do not back out on yours, you already knew. I said I am not stupid. Vivian kept her eyes on the road and said, so the thing is, me and Hua have an arranged engagement, but it was never my idea. Our parents set it up when we were kids. He is the most fake person I have ever met in my life. So I will do whatever it takes to break it off if I had known about the engagement beforehand. I never would have agreed to this. Why me as your fake boyfriend? He is from money. There is no comparison between him and me. Because you were loyal that day when I was in danger. You threw yourself in without thinking just to let me get away first. That told me I had the right guy, not like your brother, that jerk. Ungrateful, greedy, and sleazy, he is absolute trash. Vivian looked at me with a smile. You feel like grabbing a drink. I was pretty wound up inside and nodded. Vivian took me to a bar nearby. The drinks were strong. By the time I realized I had too much, it was already too late. My head was spinning. Vivian was completely sober. She suddenly looked at me and said, actually, I know a way to get Hua to call off the engagement himself, and it would not even be that hard. I asked what way. She smiled at me. We take this fake relationship and make it real. If Hua finds out something happened between us, he will back off for good. Make it real, you mean like actually? My head was pounding. I started shaking it no. Vivian smiled and said, great, since you agree. Let us go with my plan. I was clearly shaking my head no. But once the alcohol kicked in, I blacked out completely when I came to. It was already the next morning. I was lying in bed, and Vivian was sitting next to me with a mischievous grin. I had a bad feeling. I lifted the covers and saw I was down to just my underwear. Stop looking, it already happened. Vivian said it so casually, I lost it. I wake up and just like that I am done. Who am I supposed to complain to? Vivian, are you out of your mind? You are a woman. You are just going to do whatever you want. I snapped at her. Vivian's expression changed and she climbed on top of me, grabbed my throat and got in my face. Who are you calling easy? I was acting okay. It was all an act. Do you understand? Nothing happened, you idiot. And even if something did happen, I would be the one getting the short end of the stick here. What is wrong with you? Do you have any idea how rough you were last night? Bang, the door swung open. The one who opened it was a staff member, and standing behind them was a middle-aged couple. The woman was elegant and poised. The man wore a sharp suit with a quiet, commanding presence. I immediately yanked the covers over myself and looked over at Vivian in a panic. Vivian's face drained of color. She scrambled off the bed and looked down as she said, Mom, Dad. Mom, Dad. My stomach dropped. We were in serious trouble. I barely dared to breathe. Vivian and Mrs. Wu took one look at the messy bed and had no idea what to say. Vivian still had both hands tight around my throat. My head started pounding. I said, Miss Wu, I am not that kind of guy. Happy now, Vivian just rolled her eyes and said, not really. What I want to hear is Mr. Wu's face went dark. You did not come home last night. You stayed here with him the whole time. Vivian looked down and gave a quiet, yes. Mr. Wu was furious beyond words. He raised his hand to hit her and I jumped in and said, Mr. Wu, Mrs. Wu, please do not misunderstand. Nothing happened between me and Vivian. Vivian cut right in. Mom, Dad, he is lying. We already slept together. She turned around and stared me down. Jake, are you even a man? You had the guts to bring me here, but now you cannot own up to it. I am so disappointed in you. I wanted to cry, but I had no tears. Who dragged who here in the first place? I was about to explain when Mr. Wu snapped, Vivian, you have completely disgraced this family. Get back home right now. Stop embarrassing yourself in public. Mr. Wu still looked ready to hit her. Vivian ducked behind her mom. Mrs. Wu gave me a conflicted look and said to Mr. Wu, what is done is done. Hitting her is not going to change anything, and you say you spoiled her too much. That is why she pulled something like this if word gets back to the Chin family. How are we going to explain this? Mr. Wu stormed off. Mom, I do not like Hua. Everyone knows he is a total player. There is no way I am marrying someone like him. The person I like is Jake. If I am going to marry anyone, it is going to be Jake, Vivian said, pointing at me. Mrs. Wu let out a tired sigh. Vivian, honey, even if you do not want to marry Hua, this is not the way to handle it. You are a young woman, you have to have more self-respect than this. Vivian said, totally unbothered, Mom, I know, but I just really like Jake. I could not help myself. I genuinely wanted to cry somehow. All of this had become my fault. Mrs. Wu looked completely exhausted and told Vivian to get dressed first. I will wait outside for both of you after Mrs. Wu stepped out. Vivian had the biggest grin on her face. Jake, when you meet my dad in a bit, no matter what he says, just tell him you are into me and that you absolutely have to be with me if you say one wrong word. Kiss that house goodbye. I said you planned this whole thing, did you not? You tipped off your parents to come to the hotel so they would get the wrong idea. Yep, am I not genius? Vivian flashed me a grin. I just rolled my eyes. We walked out of the hotel. Mrs. Wu was waiting under a tree. I was dragging my feet. Vivian yanked my arm. Come on, speed it up. What are you scared of? My mom is not going to bite you. Here we are, Jake. Say hello. Mrs. Wu, it is nice to meet you. My name is Jake. I said, bracing myself. I already know your name. Vivian, go wait in the car. I would like to have a word with Jake alone. Sure, go ahead. Vivian shot me a look on her way out, clearly reminding me once she was out of earshot. Mrs. Wu studied me and asked, "How long have you known Vivian, and when did things turn romantic between you two?" I would like an honest answer. Can you do that honest answer? For the sake of getting that house back, I had to go along with Vivian. I said we have known each other for a while, but we have not been together long. Mrs. Wu kept her eyes fixed on me. I gave what I hoped looked like a confident nod. "Do you know Vivian is engaged?" I said, "Yes, I know." "If you knew she was engaged, then why would you get involved with her? Are you playing with her feelings?" "Mrs. Wu, I am not playing with her feelings." "You are not," Mrs. Wu smiled. "So you are saying you genuinely have feelings for my daughter?" At this point, I had no choice but to say, "Yes, I do care about her." "You do not mind that she is not conventionally pretty? Or is there something else going on here?" Mrs. Wu's eyes felt like they could see right through me, and it made my heart race. I said, "Mrs. Wu, honestly, Vivian is not unattractive at all. She has really nice features, and I am not after the Wu family for anything. But Vivian has a birthmark on her left eye," I said with a calm smile. "But she is a genuinely good person." Mrs. Wu went quiet for a few seconds, then said, "So the two of you are serious about being together. I do know Vivian is against that engagement, but it is a family decision and there is not much I can do about it. If you truly want to be with Vivian, then you need to find a way to deal with her engagement to Qinhua. Consider it a test from me." I did not say a word, because the whole thing was just an act. Anyway, Mrs. Wu took Vivian and left. Later, Vivian called to get the full rundown. I told her everything. Vivian was thrilled. She laughed and said, "Nice work, you get a reward next time we meet." I said, "When is next time? Did not your dad ground you?" "Oh, he was just blowing off steam. My dad actually spoils me the most at home. If everything goes smoothly, I should be free by this afternoon." I hung up and crashed at Hee-chang's place to catch up on sleep. That afternoon, we headed over to the BBQ spot together. "Bro, where were you last night? You look completely wiped out," Hee-chang said with a smirk. "Did you spend the night with Miss Wu, bro? You are seriously my idol. I have so much respect for you. Teach me your ways, man. How do you win girls over like that?" "Knock it off, I am fine. But if word gets around, it could really hurt Vivian's reputation, bro. You are so protective of her. Do not tell me you actually caught feelings for Miss Wu, not that I would blame you. She is loaded and she is not bad looking either. Spend enough time with someone and feelings happen." I thought to myself, yeah, right, it is just business. The shop got trashed last night. We had new tables and chairs brought in, but business had clearly taken a hit by sundown. We only had 2 tables. I had Hee-chang call our regulars and told him to let them know everything was on the house tonight. I had just sat down and poured myself some water when I heard Ryan's voice out of nowhere. "Jake, what the hell did you say to Yume, you piece of trash? Can you not stand to see me happy?" Before I even knew what hit me, he kicked me to the ground. Ryan came charging at me, throwing more kicks. He grabbed a stool and swung it at me. I rolled out of the way and got to my feet when it comes to fighting. I am not scared of him, not even a little, when the rage kicked in. I went at him hard. Hee-chang came flying out to break it up. He forced his way between us. "Ryan, bro, Jake, bro, you two are brothers. Can you not just sit down and talk this out like adults? What is the point of beating each other half to death? I am not talking to this piece of trash. Hee-chang, get out of my way. I'm going to teach him a lesson he will not forget." I was not backing down either. That is when Maya's BMW pulled up to the curb. Hancho said quickly, "Maya, you are just in time. Please stop them. I cannot hold them back anymore." Maya walked over, took one look at both of our busted up faces, and gritted her teeth. "Go ahead, keep fighting. Why did you stop? Is it not better to just beat each other senseless?" "Yume, Jake is full of it. Do not listen to a word he says." Ryan pointed at me. Maya looked at me, then back at Ryan. "Ryan, stop acting like Jake is in the wrong here, because you are not innocent either. Jake dropped out of school and worked in the coal mines for 4 years to put you through college, and you went around calling him a freeloader. You are his brother. That kind of talk should never come out of your mouth." Ryan was completely speechless. It was only later that I found out. The whole story had gotten back to Yumai's parents, who had been planning to help Ryan buy a house. They immediately changed their minds. Probably figured Ryan was not someone they could count on. That is why Ryan had come looking for me so furious. Maya said my parents just said they are holding off on buying the house outright. They never said they were against us being together. So where is all this anger coming from? If you think my parents are treating you badly, then maybe we should just break up. The moment Ryan heard that, he completely backed down and started sweet-talking her. I could tell Maya's attitude toward him had shifted. She was not as blindly devoted as she used to be. Once Ryan saw her calm down, he took her hand and said, "Yume, I promise I will never lose my temper like this again. I will keep it together. Just forgive me this one time. Come on, let us get out of here. I never want to set foot in this place again." Ryan started pulling Maya away. "Hold on, it is not going to be that easy." Maya looked caught off guard. Ryan spun around, glaring daggers at me. "Jake, what the hell do you want now? I am not scared of you. If Hee-chang and Yume had not pulled us apart today, I would have knocked every tooth out of your head." I gave a cold laugh. "Is that right? Then how about we set a time and actually find out?" Hee-chang could see things were heading south and said, "Jake, come on, man. Let it go. Turn a big problem into a small one and a small one into nothing. Besides, you two are brothers. Why blow this into an all-out war?" I said, "Hee-chang, you do not know the full story. Stay out of it." Ryan was clenching his jaw so hard I thought it would crack. Maya said, "Hee-chang may not know the full story, but I sure do. I get that Ryan should not have come looking for trouble, and he has already apologized. So what more do you want? Just let it go. You are brothers after all, just let it go." Sure, I let him slide, but who the hell has ever let me off the hook? I treated him like a brother, but he treated me like a cash machine. Or just a stepping stone, Yume. Do you have any idea how insufferable you sound right now? Just shut your mouth. Maya's expression turned ice cold. "I am insufferable, fine. Since you already think so, I will go ahead and make it worse. If you dare lay a single finger on Ryan today, you and I are done." Ryan saw Maya had his back and smirked at me with pure arrogance. I was about to snap. I jumped up, ready to swing. Hee-chang grabbed me and held on tight. "Jake, do not do it, man." I was fighting against him, eyes bloodshot. Maya did not leave. She turned to Hee-chang and said, "Hee-chang, let him go. I want to see exactly what he is going to do to us. Having someone in your corner really changes things, huh? One little argument and you are ready to throw hands. Do you even know who you are anymore?" Ryan fanned the flames. "Jake, ever since you started hanging around Vivian, you have been a completely different person. Turning your back on everyone who matters. Now you are living off a rich girl. Is money really that important to you, man? If mom and dad could see what you have turned into, it would break their hearts. Do not you dare bring up mom and dad. You have no right." I completely lost it. I broke free from. Hee-chang rushed in and decked Ryan, dropping him to the ground. "Jake, I swear I will kill you." Ryan scrambled up and got ready to charge. I had my fist balled up tight. Maya was furious, stomping her feet. "Enough, Jake. So what, you put Ryan through a few years of school? If Ryan does not pay you back, He will never be able to hold his head up and you will never let him live it down. Fine, just tell me how much he owes you. I will pay you back myself the second she said that. I could not hold my tongue. 50,000 a year. 4 years, that is 200,000 handed over. Maya was fired up herself now. She yanked a bank card out of her purse and threw it at my feet. 200,000 is in there right now, not a cent short. From this point forward, Ryan does not owe you anything. And do not you ever bring this up again that 200,000 was money earmarked for Ryan to buy a house. There was no way Ryan was just going to hand it over to me. He got to it first. Yume, this is your money. What I owe him, I will pay back myself someday. Ryan said back then, you are the one who made me drop out. I could have been graduating college right about now. You told me if I just put you through school, you would never let your little brother down, so what happened? Is this how you repaid me, Ryan? You stole years of my life. Nothing you do will ever make up for that. But Ryan refused to take responsibility. Stop making stuff up. I never told you to quit school and go work for me. By the time I even found out about it, you had already dropped out. And now you are pinning this on me, Jake. What is wrong with you? I could not believe he had the nerve to flip this around on me. I knew you would never own up to it. It has been 4 years already, just forget it. Let me ask you this. How much did you actually sell the house for? Was it 40,000 or 100,000? Ryan's eyes darted around and he said quickly, obviously 40,000, who's going to pay 100,000 for a burned down house. Does that even make sense? I laughed out of pure rage. I said, Ryan, oh Ryan, that house sold for 100,000. You gave me 20 and pocketed 80 for yourself. I stared Maya down. You want to pay off his debts, right? Then pay it all. Maya looked at Ryan with doubt in her eyes. Ryan said quickly, Yuma, you really believe a guy like this? The house genuinely only sold for 40,000. I am telling the absolute truth. Maya said a burned down house selling for 40,000 is already pretty good. Ryan nodded hard, exactly. So him saying the house sold for 100,000 is just complete nonsense, right? Then a familiar voice cut through the air. It was Vivian. She gave Maya a sharp look and said, you absolute scumbag, the nerve of you. Do I seriously need to pull out the sales contract before you will admit the house sold for 100,000? Fine. Then since that is what it takes, Vivian pulled out her phone and found the digital contract. Open your eyes wide and tell me, does that contract say 100,000 or 40,000? Ryan went completely pale, his face like ash. Maya snatched the phone and looked it over carefully, her expression slowly shifting. She looked like she could not believe what she was seeing. Is this contract real? Yume, I just wanted to save up more money for a new house, Ryan. How could you do this? I never forced you to buy a house. If you did not have the money, you could have earned more. But why would you do something like this? You have really let me down. Yume, I know I was wrong. Please forgive me. I will transfer the 30,000 I owe him right now. Ryan was smart about it. With no way out, he offered up the 30,000 on his own to buy back her forgiveness, even though Maya no longer trusted him the way she used to. She still let him off the hook once the transfer went through. Ryan started pulling Maya toward the exit. Maya slapped the bank card down on the table. From this day forward, you and Ryan are even. He does not owe you anything. Hey Chen, I used to think that whole dumb blonde thing was just a stereotype, but ever since I met you, I genuinely believe it, and I mean every word. After everything that has gone down lately, you are still out here defending that piece of trash. Honestly, it is just sad. Maya stopped and asked, what exactly are you trying to say? Ryan was not about to let Vivian keep going. He grabbed Maya and got out of there. Vivian just shook her head. I have seen some clueless women in my time, but she takes the cake, wow. Ho-Chung looked completely lost, Miss Wu. Is there something else Ryan did to Jake behind his back? Honestly, I never thought Ryan was capable of this, not even pocketing money from the house sale. I used to think Jake was the one in the wrong, but now I see exactly who Ryan really is. Vivian clapped, Hee-Chang on the shoulder using the word character to describe him is honestly an insult to the word. No offense, but that guy is lower than dirt. Hee-Chang just stood there with his brow furrowed, jaw dropped. Alright, starting now. Stop calling me Miss Wu, just call me Vivian, like everyone else. Jake and I already spent the night together. Vivian gave me a playful glance and put on a shy little act for show, really. I knew Jake was acting weird today. I literally just said I bet he spent the night with Vivian, and he denied it. Vivian, Jake is a really good guy. He is nothing like Ryan. You are going to be happy with him. I know what kind of guy he is. You do not need to tell me, I already know what I've got. Customers are coming in. Go take care of them. I need a minute with Jake. Vivian pulled me into the private room. She closed the door and stepped in close as she asked, seeing your precious Yume take Ryan's side like that. That had to have hurt, but I kept my face blank. From here on out, she is her, and I am me. We are strangers. Nothing between us anymore, is that right? Vivian kept closing the gap between us. She was almost up against me. I stepped back without thinking. You know what your biggest problem is? You cannot control your emotions. Everything you feel is written all over your face. I had nothing to say to that. I know asking you to get over her overnight is not realistic, so I am not going to push you, but do not ever forget. Right now, you are my boyfriend, and if you ever do anything to cross me, I promise you your situation will end up way worse than Ryan's. I frowned and said, there is nobody else here. We can drop the act, right? What act? I am serious. We already spent the night together. So what are you trying to back out of it now? Vivian stepped forward hard. I jumped back, hit the wall and had nowhere left to go. I said quickly, nothing actually happened last night. Says who? Vivian jabbed her finger at me. Last night, you got drunk and lost control. And if I had not fought you off with everything I had, you would have done something. Nothing went all the way sure, but you looked and you touched. So how exactly is that any different from the real thing? My face went red. I was mortified and full of doubt, drunk and out of control, looked and touched. Then why can I not remember a single thing? Vivian saw I had gone quiet and gave me a look with those half-lidded eyes and said, good things come to those who wait. As long as you treat me right, I will be yours sooner or later anyway. The way she looked at me, those eyes that smile. My blood was running hot, but I knew Vivian was not a woman I should ever try anything with. I was about to say something when Vivian suddenly leaned in and kissed me. It was just a quick brush of her lips, but it sent a jolt through my entire body like electricity. Vivian's cheeks flushed pink, her eyes soft and bright. She said softly, considering how well you handled things with my mom today, that kiss was your reward. My mind went completely blank. Vivian added, today I pulled out that contract. Ryan is definitely going to figure out I was the buyer, so there is no point hiding it anymore. I am handing the house over to you, get someone in to renovate it, and you will be able to move back in. But you promised to be my boyfriend for 3 months, so do not even think about backing out or I am taking the house back. The next morning, Vivian showed up with a renovation crew. After walking through the house, the guy said, Miss Wu, the fire damage is pretty bad if you want a full renovation. You are looking at least 200,000, do good work. Do not worry about the money. The guy nodded eagerly. Whatever Miss Wu says, I will make sure it gets done right. Alright, I am heading back to grab the materials and we should be able to start tomorrow. Once the guy left, Vivian let out a long breath. Finally, everything worked out, and the house is back where it belongs. I can rest easy now. Sure, Vivian might come across as spoiled and difficult to others, but the way I see it, she has a good heart, and she has always been straight with me. People are not made of stone, and I genuinely appreciated what she did. I said, Vivian, right now, I can only scrape together 500,000. Let me pay you back half first and I will get you the rest once I have the money. At that point, I had 800,000 on me, and 200 of that belonged to Yumei. I had split 500 from the house sale, so I handed Vivian a card with 500,000 on it. Vivian glanced at me and said, what are you doing? You spent $1 million buying that house and now you are handing it back to me. You want to pay me back half now and the rest later. Look, I love money and I could always use more of it. But dirty money burns your hands. Running a BBQ stand all year does not even get you 500,000. And you are just handing it over that easily. Are you sure you do not regret this? Vivian kept her eyes on me and I just smiled and shook my head. A real man wants money, but only money earned the right way, even if I am no saint. I am not a lowlife either. If this were Ryan, there is no way in hell he would have handed me 500,000, which just goes to show my read on people is solid. Vivian told me to put the card away. She did not need the money. This was a fair deal and I did not owe her anything, but it did not feel fair to me. Being her fake boyfriend for 3 months in exchange for $1 million, I am not worth that much. Funny enough, right then, I heard Hee-Chang and Yumei talking just outside the door. Yumei, honestly, I do not even know what really went down between Jake and Ryan. I tried asking Jake about it, but he never says a word about it though. Something Vivian said last night really stuck with me. She said Ryan is lower than a dog. Wait, are you talking about Vivian Wu? Yeah.
She said her and Jake already slept together, so I cannot call her Miss Wu anymore.
Yumei, you do not look so good. What is wrong? Are you feeling okay? I am fine. After a long silence, Yumei finally said, Hee-Chang, are Jake and Vivian really together like that? Of course they are, Vivian said. So herself, there is no way she would make something like that up. Nantio said, Yumei, you know I used to think the whole problem between Jake and Ryan was Jake's fault. But lately I have been realizing it was Ryan who did Jake wrong. You have probably had Jake all wrong this whole time, maybe. But it does not really matter anymore. Hee-Chang, I have got somewhere to be. I am out. And please do not tell Jake I came by, okay? Got it, Yumei? Let me walk you out, it is fine. Yumei stepped out the door, and on instinct glanced into the yard where Vivian and I were standing. She paused for just a second, her gaze sweeping over us cold as ice, then walked off without looking back. Jake, Vivian. Hee-Chang clearly caught off guard when he spotted us, scratched his head and walked in with a dumb grin. Jake, Vivian. Hey, what a coincidence. Vivian tilted her chin in the direction Yumei had just left, and with a half smirk said, Hee-Chang, what did that girl want with you? Nothing, it is just, we ran out of supplies at the shop, Jake. I was just heading out to grab some. Hee-Chang tried to make a run for it, but Vivian yanked him back and shook her little fist at him. My fist has been itching lately. What do you think I should do about that? Hee-Chang tensed up and blurted out quickly. Vivian, Yumei just wanted to ask me about what happened between Jake and Ryan, but I swear I did not know anything, so I did not say a word. Vivian let out a cold snort. Playing both sides, huh? What a little sweetheart, Hee-Chang, if she comes around again. Just tell her Jake and I are already together and she needs to get over it. Are you not single too? If you play your cards right, I will hook you up with some gorgeous rich girls. Hee-Chang lit up like a Christmas tree. Vivian, you got it, whatever you say, I am your guy. Alright, now go take care of the shop. Hee-Chang happily bounced off. The renovation crew showed up the next morning and got straight to work fast and thorough. The next few days were quiet, no trouble from anyone, and Qinhua seemed to have dropped the whole thing. Vivian stopped by the BBQ stand whenever she had a free moment, and even pitched in when things got busy, though being pampered her whole life she was more in the way than anything. Then one afternoon, a few days later, I hopped on my bike to go open up the shop. Just as I turned out of the alley, I ran into a group of tatted up guys and the bald one looked familiar. He was the same guy who had caused trouble at the BBQ stand. These guys were not here to say hi. I did not even have a chance to turn around before they had me pinned and barehanded. I was completely outmatched and they shoved me into a van and hauled me to Mingcheng Yu's cars, a rundown little office, where a dark-skinned guy in his 40s sat back in the boss chair, prayer beads around his neck, a walnut in each hand. Eyes hard as stone, the bald guy said, This is the owner Zhang Lua, tell him to call you sixth brother. I refused to say it. The bald guy raised his fist to hit me, but Zhang Lua suddenly said, Easy Xiaohu. The bald guy backed off and sat on the couch with a drink. You are Jake. Zhang Lua walked over. He was half a head shorter than me, but built solid. I heard you have some serious backup. Something going on between you and the Wu family heiress. I already knew he was not here to do me any favors, and I figured I was about to get roughed up, so I threw Vivian's name out to scare him. I said, since you already know, why not just send me home right now? Watch your mouth when you talk to sixth brother. Xiaohu shot back with a glare. Zhang Lua brushed it off with a laugh. The Wu family has deep pockets and serious pull. I know better than to mess with them, but when someone pays me to get a job done, I see it through. That is just how I operate. So someone had hired him, and whoever it was had to be somebody. My first thought was Qinhua. I held my ground and said, if you lay a finger on me, Vivian will make sure you pay for it. Xiaohu slammed the table and jumped up like some kind of loyal attack dog. Zhang Lua asked with that same half smile, Jake, do you not even want to know who set you up? I said, who else would it be besides Qinhua? You know Qinhua. Zhang Lua paused. When I did not answer, he kept going. You are thinking too hard. The person who hired me is not him. It is your brother Ryan. Ryan, my stomach dropped. We share the same blood, and he actually paid someone to come after me. Zhang Lua pulled open a drawer and took out 20,000 in cash. Here, this is what Ryan paid me. There is another 10,000 when the job is done. His only request is that you spend 2 weeks in the hospital since I took his money. I guess I have got to deliver right as soon as he said that. A bunch of guys with wrenches burst through the door, just waiting for Zhang Lua to give the word. I would be lying if I said I was not scared. My mind was racing. I figured there was no getting out of this beating. Zhang Lua stared me down for a solid 10 seconds, then said, here is what we are going to do. Call the Wu girl right now and let me see with my own eyes that you two are the real deal. And I will let you walk. talk. I already said the Wu family is not someone I want to mess with. 20,000 is not worth making an enemy out of the Wu heiress, you get what I'm saying. He did not believe me, and Vivian were close and wanted me to prove it. I jumped at the opening and dialed Vivian right away. Did you miss me already? How about we get a room again tonight? The second the call connected, Vivian was already joking around and I had it on speaker. Zhang Liwa heard every word and his face changed completely. He started making frantic faces at me, his grin going stiff. He was clearly rattled. I did not mention getting grabbed, just said a few casual things and hung up. Zhang Liwa wiped the cold sweat off his forehead, waved his guys out. Pulled me over to sit down and started nodding and bowing. Respect, little bro, you are solid, no hard feelings. If I had told Vivian, he definitely would have come for him. Zhang Liwa was not someone you wanted as an enemy, so he was grateful. Since he was being decent about it, I said, no need to blow this up over a misunderstanding. We did not exactly meet under the best circumstances, but hey, now we know each other well said. Little bro, if you ever need anything, Zhang Liwa said, just say the word, I have got you. Not gonna lie, I have built up some solid connections around this city over the years. On both sides of the law, I know people everywhere. I gave a polite nod and said, I am sure I will need a favor from you down the road. Anytime man coming to me for help means you respect me. Oh, and little bro, grab some tea. I need to make a quick call. Zhang Liwa dialed right in front of me. Put it on speaker and the call connected. Zhang, how did it go? It was Ryan's voice, Zhang Liwa said with a laugh. When I take someone's money, I get the job done in this city. There is nothing Zhang Liwa cannot handle. Consider what you asked for taken care of. When can you bring over that last 10,000? Nice work as always. I will have someone bring the money over to you right now. 30 minutes tops, call ended. Zhang Liwa looked at me with a smirk. Little bro, that brother of yours is something else, they say. Blood is thicker than water, but he sure as hell is not treating you like family. My face went cold. Rage boiling inside me. Ryan actually paid someone to take me out. That is worse than what an enemy would do. I said, Zhang, since you are getting paid anyway, go ahead and keep the money. I am not trying to see him. I am out. Zhang Liwa grabbed my arm. Hey, little bro, do not rush off. That jerk Ryan told me you and the Wu girl barely knew each other, and that there was nothing real between you two. Good thing I played it smart. Otherwise, he would have gotten me into serious trouble. Let him show up. I'm going to have a little talk with him and give you some payback while I am at it. Shortly after, Xiaohu walked in and said, boss, that Ryan guy is here. A familiar BMW pulled in and Ryan stepped out of the passenger seat. Yume was the one driving. Yume had no idea what was going on. There was no way she would have paid to have me roughed up. Xiaohu took her to a separate room. Do not waste time talking, just rough him up a little. Xiaohu stepped out and a few minutes later, Ryan started screaming from the next room. The walls were thin in that place. Every sound came through crystal clear and it made my stomach tight. Zhang Liwa noticed my expression and said with a casual smile, relax, little bro. This is just a lesson. Nobody is getting seriously hurt. Wanna go watch? I shook my head. Zhang Liwa got up and walked out. Zhang, what the hell is this? I already brought your money. And now you are having your guys beat me up. Ryan shouted. You got off easy and you should be thanking your lucky stars. Zhang Liwa said coldly, I am keeping the money, but the job you hired me for, I am not doing it. Xiaohu, get this clown out of my sight before he could finish. Yume's voice rang out. Ryan, are you okay? How dare you hit him? Who do you think you are? Well, she is not bad looking at all. So who are you to him? Zhang Liwa said with a cold laugh. Xiaohu said those two are a couple. I saw her the other night, boss, if you are interested. Why not? What the hell do you think you are doing? Back off, Yume snapped. I shot to my feet and was almost at the door. When Zhang Liwa cut in, Xiaohu, watch your mouth. We live in a society of laws. We do not do anything illegal here. Yume was furious, so you beating someone is not illegal. Zhang Liwa said, miss, which eyes of yours saw us hit anyone? He slipped and fell all on his own. Do not believe me, ask him yourself. That is complete nonsense. Nobody falls and ends up looking like that. Ryan, let us call the police. Zhang Liwa scoffed. Go ahead and ask him if he dares. Ryan had hired someone to hurt me. There was no way he was calling the police. He quickly said, Yume, I am fine. It was just a misunderstanding. Let us just go, Ryan. What are you scared of? We live in a society of laws and they assaulted you. That is a crime. Yume kept pushing to call the cops, but Ryan refused every time. Zhang Liwa and Xiaohu and the rest burst out laughing. Hey, miss, you see that? I am not the one stopping you from calling the police. He is the one who will not do it. So if that is how it is, you two can get out. Shortly after Yume helped Ryan out of there, Zhang Liwa came back to the office, picked up the 10,000 Ryan had just brought along with the 20,000 already on the table, and handed all of it to me. Little bro, this 30,000 is yours. Think of it as the start of a friendship. I may not be as slick as Ryan, but I am no fool either. I said that money came from Ryan. I am not taking it. I owe you one for cutting me loose today, and I genuinely appreciate it. Zhang Liwa beamed. Well, since you were being so generous about it, I will go ahead and hold on to it. I heard you run a BBQ spot. I will just spend it all there sometime. Ha, I turned him down. Xiaohu called me a cab and I headed back to the shop. I had zero interest in getting mixed up with guys like that, but the moment I walked into the shop, Yume was already there, absolutely furious. Jake, so it was you who put those guys from the used car lot up to this. I saw you walking out of that place and I know what I saw. Do not even try to explain your way out of this. I had not even processed what was happening. When she slapped me across the face and that slap lit a fire in me I could not put out. My eyes went cold and I grabbed her by the wrist and dragged her into the back room. Yume panicked and started stumbling over her words. Jake, let go of me. What are you doing? Let me go. Hu-Chang, help me. Hee-Chang came rushing in. Jake, man, what is going on? We are all friends here. Just talk it out. Nobody needs to get physical. What do you mean, talk it out? I have had it with this girl and all her attitude. She has been messing with me for way too long. And I am done holding back. I shoved Yume into the room and slammed the door behind us. Hee-Chang was shouting from outside. Do not do it, man. Do not do it. That is Ryan's girlfriend out of pure rage. All reason gone, I lost it like a wild animal and pinned her. Yume down on the couch. Hee-Chang was still banging on the door, begging me to calm down. Yume was frozen stiff. Face flushed, her whole body rigid, eyes blazing as she screamed at me, Jake, you are out of your mind, let me go. I was not listening, Jake. You are playing with fire, man. You really do not want to do this. If you do not come out right now, I am kicking this door in. Hey, Hee-Chang, what are you doing out there? Where is Jake? I can see that girl Chen's car out front. Where are they? It was Vivian, my whole body jolted. Like a bucket of cold water dumping over me. Hee-Chang fumbled for words. Vivian, hey, when did you get here? Jake missed me. So I came by. Where exactly is he? Jake is not here. I swear I have been looking for him myself. Hee-Chung, you are the worst liar I have ever seen. Just tell me where he is. Is he in that back room, Move? Yume quickly shoved me off and straightened out her clothes. Vivian kicked the door open and took one look at Yume red-faced. Clothes all disheveled, and immediately understood. She exploded and started yelling, "You shameless little thing, one man is not enough for you. And now you are going after Jake? He is mine. You are going after my man. I am not letting this go." Vivian came charging at her like a fury, and I had no choice but to step in front of her. I turned to Hee-Chang and said, "Hee-Chang, stop standing there. Get Yume out of here, Jake. You are taking her side over mine. You are just as bad as she is. I swear I will take you both down." Vivian, completely out of control, could not get past me and bit down hard on my shoulder. I broke into a cold sweat from the pain, but in that window, Hee-Chang managed to get Yume out of there, and once I heard the engine fade away, I loosened my grip on Vivian's wrists, but she still would not let go. I gritted my teeth and said, "Lady, if you do not let go, I am going to lose this chunk of shoulder," Vivian said through clenched teeth. "This chunk of shoulder is nothing. I would rather cut off everything below the waist. Hee-Chang, go get a knife. I am cutting him off." Every word she spoke made her teeth dig deeper into me. The pain went all the way to the bone. Hee-Chang walked back in and nearly choked. "Vivian, Jake, you two? You are clearly flirting, so I will just give you some space and go back to work." He bolted before I could say a word, seeing she still had no intention of letting go. I got desperate and slid my hand toward her armpit. It was a ridiculous move, but it worked. A reflex kicked in and she unclamped her jaw teeth still bared. Looking like a wild little bull ready to charge, I was not about to push my luck. I quickly said, "Vivian, just hear me out. It is not what you think, it is not what I think, then what is it? If I had not shown up when I did, you two would have done something in this room. Jake, I cannot believe you turn out to be just like your brother. I guess the apple does not fall far from the tree. You are both the same kind of trash," Vivian snapped. I stood there taking it, but then it hit me, this whole thing is just a deal. What do I even have to be scared of? I straightened up and said, "Vivian, that is enough. You are taking this too far. If someone hears you, they are going to think we are actually together going the distance here, are we not?" Vivian's face was flushed, red eyes bloodshot. "Do not forget you kissed me that day if I did not see you as my real boyfriend. Why would I have done that? You think that was just for fun? I want to be very clear, I am not that kind of girl." That caught me completely off guard. Wait, does this woman actually have feelings for me? No way, there is no way she is into me. I am completely broke. How could she possibly be interested? Jake, you got a few minutes to figure out how you are going to explain this to me. Vivian stormed out and I took a moment to pull myself together. When I walked out, I found Vivian leaning over the table venting to Hee-Chang saying, "Hee-Chang, I have been pretty good to Jake, right? So why would he do something like this to me? I guess you just cannot spoil a man. The more you do for them, the more they take you for granted. Hee-Chang, I cannot let this slide. I cannot move on until I get even you going to help me or not. In a bit, you hold him down and I will chop off what he has got going on down there. You do that for me and I will hook you up with some gorgeous rich girls." I broke out in a cold sweat and Hee-Chang nervously asked, "Vivian, these gorgeous rich girls, are they for real?" I called out to Hee-Chang in a low voice, and the second he spotted me walking out, he slapped on a dumb grin and said, "Oh, Jake was just messing around. You two talk, I gotta go check on the grill." He slipped away and I walked up to Vivian. Her eyes were red and watery. She looked like a girl who had been done wrong and my heart softened. I said with a guilty look, "Vivian, I honestly lost my mind back there. She has been giving me grief nonstop, so I just wanted to mess with her head a little." "Mess with her head? Are you serious? You use that kind of move on a woman. And you still think you are innocent?" I said. "If I actually wanted something to happen, it sure as hell would not be at the BBQ stand, right?" Vivian scoffed. When a man is thinking with a wrong head, he does not care where he is. No matter what I said, Vivian was not buying any of it. So I just plopped down with a whatever, do your worst kind of attitude. After a while, Vivian finally calmed down, grabbed me by the ear and said, "I will let you off the hook this one time. Since it was that little troublemaker who came looking for you first. But if there is ever a next time, I swear I will cut you off." After all that went down, I did not run into Yume for a good few days. I thought about reaching out to explain, but decided to just leave it. If it meant she would stop coming around and making my life complicated, that was probably for the best. Vivian kept coming by the stand like usual. I was kind of uncomfortable with it at first, but over time I realized she was actually pretty easy to get along with. As long as you knew how to read her mood still, I always reminded myself to keep a little distance. Around that time, the house renovation wrapped up and I got some furniture moved in. I moved back from Mrs. Wang's place because no matter how nice someone else's home is, it just is not yours. I tried to give Mrs. Wang some money to thank her, but she flat out refused. So later I picked up some groceries and invited her and her daughter over for BBQ. After dinner, when it was just getting dark, I said, "Mrs. Wang, let me ride you home on my bike." She took one look at the e-bike, shook her head and smiled, saying, "It is not far. We can walk, thanks for having a show fan." It was only much later that I understood why she said that men and women need to be mindful, and she did not want people to see. After seeing Mrs. Wang and her daughter off, I went back to clean up the tables, when two vans suddenly pulled up and more than a dozen built guys jumped out and started wrecking everything without a word. Hee-Chang and I snapped. We went in hot and started brawling with them right in the middle of it all. A man's voice rang out from not too far away. "How dare they trash my little bro's spot? Xiaohu, go help them out." I turned around, and it was Zhang Liuwa showing up with Xiaohu and a few of his boys. Those guys knew how to throw down, especially Xiaohu, who dropped 3 or 4 of those big guys in the blink of an eye. Zhang Liuwa called out to me, "Relax, little bro. Your big bro has got your back," that said. He did not actually throw any punches himself because he was the boss after all, and a boss has got to carry himself a certain way a few minutes later. Hee-Chang and I were both roughed up, and Xiaohu and his guys took some hits too. But those thugs were not getting the upper hand either, seeing things turning against them. They tried to make a run for it, but Xiaohu cut them off. "Do not let them walk," Zhang Liuwa said in a firm voice. Zhang Liuwa, a short-haired guy, recognized him. "You know who we are working for, right?" Zhang Liuwa kept a straight face and waved his hand. "I do not care who you are working for, this little bro. Right here is my friend. You come in here starting trouble, you are disrespecting me, Zhang Liuwa. You really want to go there with me?" The short-haired guy squinted. "Zhang Liuwa, yeah, we have heard of you. You used to be a big deal around here. I will give you that, but do not forget. Times have changed, the old way of doing things does not fly anymore. I will be straight with you. We were sent by the Qin family, young master Qin Hua." At the mention of young master Qin, Zhang Liuwa's expression shifted completely. "Qin Hua, who else would it be?" The short-haired guy let out a cold laugh, full of contempt. "Zhang Liuwa, you really think you can go up against Qin Hua? I am Zhou Tao and I am not trying to look down on you. But in Qinhua's eyes, you are nothing. I had already figured it was Qinhua behind this. Zhang Liu's face flashed with hesitation. He looked at me, then clenched his jaw and said, I already told you this little bro is my friend. Since I happened to show up tonight, there is no way I am walking away from this. Fine, Zhang Liu, remember what you said? We will settle this another day, let us bounce. Xu Dao took his crew and left. Zhang Liu let out a long breath, pulled me into a private room and shut the door. He wiped the cold sweat off his face. Little bro, those guys really were sent by Qinhua. You have history with him. I said it is just a bit of a thing. Zhang Liu let out a heavy sigh, looking pained, and said, Little bro, I am in deep trouble now. Qinhua is not the kind of guy I can afford to cross. The Qin family is just as powerful as the Wu family. If Qinhua comes after me later, I am done for, man. What are we gonna do? I thought to myself, save the pity party, I am in just as bad of a spot. Zhang Liu glanced at me and added, Little bro, the only play right now is to call the Wu heiress. This is not getting sorted out unless she steps in. I am begging you, man. Do not leave me hanging on this. I hesitated for a second. Little bro, look, I am actually a pretty decent guy. Spend enough time with me, and you will see that out here on these streets. Loyalty is everything, after going back and forth on it. I figured I had no choice but to call Vivian. One, Zhang Liu had stuck his neck out for me. And two, if I did not handle this, Qinhua was not going to let me off either. I called and laid the whole thing out, and not long after, Vivian showed up with a few guys in black. First thing she said was, Jake, are you okay? How bad are you hurt? Do you need to go to the hospital? I waved her off and said, it is just surface stuff. I am fine, that damn Qinhua. I should have seen this coming, that he would come at you again. This is on me. I should have had someone watching out for you. Vivian looked genuinely guilty, and the way she looked at me, there was something close to concern in her eyes. Zhang Liu walked over with a big smile. Little bro, I am guessing this must be the Wu family heiress. Vivian glanced at him and asked Jake, who is this guy? I quickly said, this is Zhang Liu. If he had not shown up when he did and stopped those guys, this place would have been wrecked again. When did you two meet? How come I did not know about this? Vivian gave me a suspicious look. I kept it vague and Zhang Liu jumped in quickly. Miss Wu, I helped Jake out tonight, but now I have made an enemy out of Qinhua. He is not going to let this go, so I'm hoping you could put in a word and keep me safe. Vivian gave him a look. You were quick to bring up helping Jake, but what about your guys wrecking this place not too long ago? Zhang Liu looked embarrassed and said, Xiaohu did not know any better. He disrespected Jake, and I will make sure he takes Jake out to dinner and apologizes face to face. I said, hey, you know what? No beef, no bond. Let us just let the past stay in the past. Zhang Liu shot me a grateful look. Vivian sat on the couch for a long moment, deep in thought, and suddenly looked at me and said, Jake, you want to come with me to go find Qinhua? I said, when you have got nothing to lose, you have got nothing to fear, so why not? Who says you have got nothing? You still have me. Since you are not scared, then let us go. Vivian rolled her eyes at me and got up to head out. Zhang Liu grabbed my arm and said, little bro, Qinhua is not a stand-up guy just in case things go sideways. Let me have Xiaohu and the boys shadow you. I thought about it for a couple seconds, then nodded and said, yeah, sounds good, appreciate it. Around 9 that night, Vivian pulled up outside a private members club and told me Qinhua owned the place. Vivian walked in with me and her 4 bodyguards. She sent one of them to ask at the front desk, and he came back. Miss Qinhua is in his office on the 4th floor. The elevator opened on 4, and there were 4 or 5 guys in suits standing in the hallway. Vivian walked straight up to the office door, and one of the suit guys moved to block her. Who are you? People smack. Vivian slapped him across the face and snapped. Open your eyes and look at who I am. Vi Vivian, the guy winced. My apologies, I did not recognize you, Miss Wu. Miss Wu, please wait one moment, let me go announce you. I saw he was still trying to announce me. Get out of the way, Miss Wu, Qinhua has said. No matter who it is, before entering the office, they need to be announced first. Miss Wu, this is Qinhua's rule. Please do not make things difficult for us. Vivian was done talking. She gave her bodyguards a look, and they stepped in to hold the suit guys back. Vivian pushed the door open and walked in. The office had a lounge area, separated by floor-to-ceiling glass, and through it, you could clearly see Qinhua playing cards with 3 women. The first time I met Qinhua, I actually thought he seemed like a refined gentleman. Now, I finally understood why Vivian had been going out of her way to break off the engagement. You really cannot judge a book by its cover. Miss Wu, you cannot go in there! One of his guys shouted. Qinhua and the 3 women startled. Get out. Qinhua panicked. Vivian sat down on the couch, her back to the lounge area, expression completely calm. Qinhua came out and swept a cold look over the people by the door. His guys were so scared they did not dare breathe. Do not give them a hard time. I was the one who insisted on seeing you. I wanted to see what kind of important work Qinhua is always so busy with. Vivian said coldly. Vivian, just hear me out. I am not really like this. They came onto me first. I just could not help myself. But the only one I actually care about is you. I talked to my family and we want to get the wedding together as soon as possible. Qinhua walked over. Still wrapped in his robe, Vivian stood up and moved to the seat across from him. Looked at me and said, Jake, come sit next to me after pulling something like this. He still has the nerve to say he cares about Vivian. The level of shamelessness made Ryan look like an amateur. Qinhua shot me a cold look. I acted like I did not even notice. Walked right over and sat down next to Vivian. Qinhua's face went dark. Jake, do you know what you are doing right now? She is my fiancée, so get the hell out of here right now. Or you are going to leave in a body bag. Do not worry, I am right here. Nobody is going to touch you, Vivian said. Qinhua, I brought Jake here because I wanted you to know. I am already with Jake and he is the only one I want to be with. As far as our engagement goes, it means absolutely nothing to me. Whether you break it off or not, I am going to be with Jake. Qinhua glanced over at me with a dismissive smirk dripping with contempt. This guy, seriously, Vivian, come on. I know you have a lot of misconceptions about me, but you really do not need to use this guy as a shield to get back at me. You are trying to tell me you are actually with him, and I am supposed to buy that. Believe it or not, that is your call, but we have already played ranked together. If you do not believe me, go ask at the internet cafe where we played together. This is not something you just make up. Who is making anything up, Jake? Tell him. Have we or have we not played ranked together? Vivian said. I gave a nod, and Vivian immediately leaned over and tapped my cheek with a coy smile and said that match with your default Odin skin was something else. My mouth went dry and I felt a fire building inside me. Bang Qinhua slammed his palm on the coffee table, radiating pure menace. Jake, I want you dead. Somebody go take him out. A few of his guys rushed in, and Vivian's bodyguards rushed in right after. Vivian snapped fiercely. Maybe others are scared of you, but I am not. You want to come at my man, you better ask me first. That was bold, and honestly I was a little hooked. Qinhua was seething. I want him dead. Nobody can save him. Get him. Both sides were going at it hard. Qinhua said coldly, Vivian, you do realize whose turf this is, right? You come in here trying to challenge me. You are dreaming. Since you came in here and wrecked my night, then you are going to heh 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 heh. Right then, even more of Xinhua's guys poured in from outside, and Vivian's bodyguards were instantly outnumbered. Xinhua laughed coldly, grabbed Vivian by the wrist, and yanked her toward the bed, then shoved her hard. Vivian fell back onto the bed, you son of a... Get off me, Vivian screamed. But she could not break free from Xinhua's grip. I was furious. I gritted my teeth and charged in, grabbed the ashtray off the nightstand, and smashed it down on Xinhua's head with a loud crack. Xinhua crumpled. I kicked him aside. Grabbed Vivian and ran, you little punk. You actually hit me. I am going to tear you apart limb by limb. Somebody stop them. Do not let them get away. Xinhua pressed his head as blood poured down. He burst out of the office and I pulled Vivian and sprinted toward the stairs. Hey, slow down, I cannot keep up. Vivian could not match my pace when we hit the lobby on the first floor. More than a dozen of Xinhua's guys were already waiting and swarmed us. Vivian, get out of here. I shoved her aside. The situation was bad. The only move was for me to hold them off and let her go first. Nobody's walking out of here tonight. Boys, give it to him. More than a dozen guys were wailing on me, and I had no way to fight back. All I could do was curl up and protect the vital spots. Vivian was stamping her feet in a panic. Right then, Xiaohu showed up with 7 or 8 guys, and waded in to pull me out. Vivian helped me up, and we slipped out in the chaos and got to the car. Vivian slammed her fist on the steering wheel. Xinhua, you piece of garbage. I am not done with you. You think I have nobody in my corner. Then watch me have your whole club wrecked. I said calm down. If you smash the place, this whole thing blows way out of proportion. I cannot calm down. Vivian dialed a number. Listen, get some people and come down to Chang'an Road and wreck a club. Bring a lot of guys. Move fast, that is it. She hung up. I did not dare push it. What felt like a huge deal to me was probably nothing to Vivian anyway. Hey, are you okay? I said you were pretty wild. You know that a whole mob of guys on you, and you could not figure out just to run. You just kept going at them anyway. What did you think, you were made of steel or something? Vivian rolled her eyes at me. I said if running was an option, I would not have just stood there taking hits. I was trying to buy time to hold them back so you could get away. I just did not expect to go down that easy. So you were protecting me. Vivian smiled and gave me a pat on the shoulder. Not bad, not bad. You have heart, you step up when it counts. I respect that. Do not worry, I am not going to let you take that beating for nothing, right? As she said that, Vivian's phone buzzed and her face dropped. Oh no, it is my dad. Someone actually snitched to my dad. I am going to lose it. Jake, do not say a word. Let me handle this call. Dad, what is up, Vivian? Where are you? Her father asked in a serious tone. Vivian looked at me. I am just out and about. Why you still dare lie to my face? Did you just call Guo Liang and tell him to bring people to trash Xinhua's club? You are getting more and more out of control. I am giving you half an hour. Get back here right now and tell me exactly what happened. Beep, beep, beep. Her father hung up. Vivian put her phone away. The people I called are not coming. I said, okay, so what now? Your bodyguards and Xiaohu. They are still back at the club. Vivian was not worried. Relax, Xinhua would not dare do anything to them. At most, they take a few hits. Jake, I need you to come home with me. I am scared my dad will not believe me. I hesitated. Stop hesitating, just sit tight. Vivian hit the gas and the car shot forward about 20 minutes later. The car pulled into a massive luxury estate. I was floored by the sheer wealth radiating off that place. No wonder Xinhua said everything I earn in a year would not even cover Vivian's spending money. What is wrong, Vivian asked. I laughed awkwardly. Your family is seriously loaded. This is nothing. There are plenty of rich people in this city and plenty who are richer than the Wu family. Come on, let us go see my dad. The living room was grand and lavish, and her father was sitting on the main couch. Looking serious and stern, her mother was there too, giving Vivian a look. Vivian, your father is still wound up. You need to go apologize right now. Mom, I did not do anything wrong, Vivian said. Her father slammed his hand on the table. Nothing wrong. Xinhua called me himself saying he was assaulted. And you are going to stand there and tell me you did nothing wrong, Vivian. Normally when you pull your little stunts, I can look the other way, but this time you have gone way too far. Leave aside whether the Qin family decides to make something of this, that Xinhua has a marriage agreement with you. At the end of the day, you are going to be part of the Qin family. The reason they let you get away with things now is because you have not officially married in yet. But once you do, how do you think they are going to treat you? You have to think beyond the moment. You need to consider the long game. Vivian rolled her eyes. There is no way I am marrying a scumbag like him. What did you just say? Her father's presence filled the room. I can let a lot of things go with you, but when it comes to marriage, you will do as I say. And why did you bring that guy here? I do not want him in my house. Tell him to leave. I did not know what to do, Vivian said. Dad, his name is Jake, and he is the one I chose for myself. And if I am ever going to marry anyone, which made me wonder if there was more to the story. The Chin family living room had 7 or 8 people in it. When they saw Qinhua beaten to a pulp, his mom lost it. Who did this? Who dared put their hands on my son? I will make them pay 10 times over. Qinhua's dad kept his composure, staying relatively calm. A woman in her 30s, curvy and attractive, walked over and asked Vivian who did this to my brother. Wanrong, I did it, Vivian said. Everyone in the room was floored. Qinhua's mom kept a straight face. Vivian, you must have had a reason. Do not forget you and my son have an engagement. An engagement, Vivian scoffed. I remember the engagement, but your son clearly does not. Let me be straight with you. I was going to take Qinhua out for dinner today, and I brought a few of my girls along, but what I did not expect was, Qinhua got drunk and started getting handsy with my friend right in front of me. If there had not been 4 or 5 of us there, he would have gotten away with it. Wanrong, tell me, was I wrong to hit him? Qinhua kept shaking his head. Sis, do not listen to her, she is lying. That is not what happened. I got set up. Watch your mouth, that was ugly. Vivian is your fiancé. Qin Wanrong shot Qinhua a hard look. Smack. Vivian raised her hand and landed a sharp, clean slap. Vivian looked him dead in the eye. Qinhua, let that be a lesson. Watch what comes out of your mouth, Mr. Qin. That slap was deserved, right? Qinhua's dad said with a straight face. Well done. Qinhua, you are an educated man. Is this the kind of person you want to be? Talking like that to anyone is bad enough, but Vivian is your future wife. How dare you speak to her like that? If I ever hear that kind of language from you again, I will deal with you myself. Qinhua's mom was white with rage. Qin Wanrong looked at Qinhua and asked, what did you mean you got set up? Qinhua ran through the whole story, and the Qin family sat quietly thinking it over. It was clear they believed him. Vivian crossed her arms and said, so Qinhua, you are saying I am lying. Fine, then Huang Ying was right there. Let her speak for herself. Did you or did you not get handsy with her? Huang Ying, do not be scared even though we are at the Qin house. Mr. and Mrs. Qin are reasonable people. They are not going to give you a hard time. Huang Ying spoke up through tears. Mr. Qin, everything Vivian said is true. Young Master Qin got drunk and tried to grab me. When I said no, he got violent. Thank God Vivian was there. Otherwise I would have been. Huang Ying broke down sobbing, covering her face. Huang Ying, how dare you make up lies and trash my reputation like this? I am not letting this slide. Qinhua exploded and lunged at Huang Ying. Huang Ying screamed and ducked behind Vivian. Vivian glared at Qinhua. Getting that worked up is a sign of guilt. If you did not do anything to Huang Ying, why are you so upset? Qinhua, let me be clear, just because this is your family home does not mean you can do whatever you want. We are all reasonable adults here. Huang Ying cried through her tears. Young Master Qin, I never did anything to you. Why are you coming after me? Please just leave me alone. Vivian and Huang Ying played off each other perfectly, and the Qin family exchanged glances. Even if they suspected it was a setup, there was no proof and nothing they could do. Qinhua's dad walked straight up to Qinhua and cracked him across the face. You disgraceful little punk. You have embarrassed this entire family. Qinhua's mom pushed him aside protectively. You do not hit your own son? Can you not see he is already hurt? I refuse to believe my son is what they are saying he is. Are you saying we are making this up? I am simply saying my son is not that kind of person. Oh, so he is a saint? That is honestly the funniest thing I have heard all year. Last night when I went to find your son, he was in bed with multiple women going at it. Just thinking about it makes me sick. Qinhua's face went red. That is not true, Vivian. You are making that up. You think I am making it up. I was not the only one there last night. Jake was there too. He can back me up. I said everything Vivian said is true. I saw it with my own eyes. Qinhua's mom turned on me. And who are you? Do you think you have any right to speak here? Get out. Qinhua's dad stared me down coldly. Qin Wanrong also gave me a dismissive look, and Qinhua suddenly blurted out, Mom, speaking of this guy, he had the nerve to steal my girl. He slept with Vivian and that lit up the whole room. What? She actually got with Vivian. Qinhua's mom looked completely stunned. Vivian, you were supposed to be marrying into the Qin family and you are out here seeing another man. Do you have any idea what that does to our reputation? Well, if your son can fool around, then why can I not be with someone else? Vivian fired back at her. So worked up she could barely get the words out. Qin Wanrong tried to calm things down. Qinhua's mom snapped, I am not swallowing this. Qinhua suddenly shouted toward the door, hey, get in here and tear this guy apart. A few built guys rushed in. Vivian said coldly, anybody touches him and they answer to me. Vivian, you really think you can protect that snake? Dream on, this is the Qin house. What are you waiting for? Get him. Qinhua was raging. Vivian stepped in front of me, shielding me with her body. The guys hesitated, knowing who Vivian was. None of them dared make a move. Qinhua's dad barked, I pay you to protect this family, not to start fights. All of you get out. The guys shuffled out with their tails between their legs. Qinhua's dad continued, Vivian, the engagement between you and Qinhua was arranged a long time ago. It was decided by your parents and a matchmaker, and it is not something to take lightly. But the way things have been going between you two, I do not know what to do about this, and it would embarrass both our families if word got out. Qinhua said, call it off. I, Qinhua, am not about to spend my life with damaged goods. Qinhua's dad went cold and stared Qinhua down. Say that again. Qinhua shrank back and muttered under his breath, it is what it is. Shut your mouth. Qinhua's dad exploded, raising his hand as Qin Wanrong quickly jumped in. Dad, Xiaohua does not know any better. Please calm down. Xiaohua, you need to stop talking. You are just making things worse. Qinhua still looked bitter and resentful. Vivian saw her opening and said, Mr. Qin, you hurt him yourself. Qinhua does not want me, and honestly there is nothing between us anyway. You cannot force something that is not there instead of making both of us miserable for life. It is better to let each other go and move on. Qinhua's dad looked conflicted, but Qinhua's mom said coldly, fine, call it off. My son is not going to have trouble finding someone else. No need to hang ourselves on one tree, and besides, my son is good looking. Plenty of girls want him. What she was really saying was that Vivian's birthmark made her unworthy of Qinhua. Qin Wanrong said, an engagement is not something to take lightly. This needs more thought. Vivian, Xiaohua, you are both heated right now. Why not cool off first and revisit this in a little while to save it? I already said what I said. I Chinhua am not settling for damaged goods. You know exactly who you are since that is how it is. There is nothing more to talk about, but if we are calling it off, we need it in writing. A verbal agreement means nothing, Vivian said. Chinhua let out a cold laugh and said dismissively, like I would ever take it back, let us write it up right now. Chinhua was dead set on it, and Vivian was more than happy to oblige. Chinhua's dad had reservations, but there was nothing he could do. In the end, both sides signed a written termination of the engagement, and each kept a copy. Chinhua's dad let out a long, helpless sigh, such a good match. How did it ever come to this? Mr. Qian, it is getting late. We will get out of your hair, Jake Huang Ying. Let us go, the engagement was finally done. Vivian was the happiest one in the room as for being damaged goods. She did not care one bit, and honestly, nothing had even happened between us. Vivian drove me home after we left the Qin house. She was all smiles starting today. I am finally free. Jake, you played a huge part in making this happen. Name what you want, I will do my best to make it happen. I laughed it off and shook my head, what did I even do? You were the one who pulled it off with one clever move and got Chinhua to call it off. You are seriously impressive. Honestly, I do not even know why. I have hated looking at him since I was a kid and putting up with it all these years. Today I finally got that off my plate, and honestly, without your help, Chinhua never would have agreed to walk away. The Wu family only has one daughter, and our family assets would eventually be his to take. That is why Chinhua refused to let go of the engagement. And the Qin family too, when you get down to it, they were all after the Wu family money. You helped me out, so I owe you. How about this, let me take you out for drinks. Vivian smiled at me and I flashed back to the night I got drugged. I waved my hands quickly. Nah, I am good. Vivian burst out laughing and gave me a flirty eye roll. Look at you all talk and no action, we are in a relationship now. Whatever you want, I will give it to you. Is that not just what a good girlfriend does? I said I do not have any of those thoughts. Just keep your eyes on the road, please, whatever you say. Mr. Uptight. Keep it bottled up and then do not blame me when you crack. She was getting to me, but I had to keep it together. First thing the next morning, I got a call from Vivian's dad, Wu Zedwan. Is this Jake? I am Vivian's father. Do you have some time later today? I would like to meet with you. I said yes. Half an hour later, a driver picked me up and took me to Wu Corp, where a young woman named Chen Xiao received me. She gave me a tour of the company before finally taking me up to Wu Zedwan's office. I understood exactly what he was doing, showing me how far out of my league I was, so I would back off. Wu Zedwan gestured for me to sit and asked, I hear you and Vivian went to the Qin house last night and managed to get the engagement called off. I nodded. Wu Zedwan continued, honestly, I did not expect this. That Chinhua would turn out to be that kind of man. Vivian is my only daughter, and I am not about to throw her into a fire. So in the end, calling off the engagement was probably the right call. You played a big part in making that happen, and I am someone who settles his debts. You helped Vivian, so I want to thank you properly. He placed a bank card on the table in front of me. There is 500,000 in there that is yours, but I do have one request. I want you to stay away from my daughter from here on out. Can you agree to that, just as I figured? I gave a calm smile and said, Mr. Wu, I know the gap between me and Vivian is enormous, so I would never let myself have any ideas about her. Actually, that night you found me and Vivian at the hotel. It was all just an act she put on. Nothing happened between us, I know. Wu Zedwan said I blinked. Wu Zedwan explained, I know my own daughter. Sure, she is loud and can act like a spoiled princess sometimes, but she always knows where the line is. I chose not to call her out on it at the time, because I also wanted to see how the Qin family would react when they heard about it. Go on. He said, I continued to be honest, I was just a shield Vivian needed. She has already broken off the engagement with Chinhua, so a shield like me is no longer needed. Which is why I will keep my distance from now on. As for the card, I cannot take it. Vivian has already compensated me. Wu Zedwan shook his head. I was thinking too simply about this. Vivian may have actually developed real feelings for me. Even if I stop reaching out, she will be the one reaching out to me. I gave a baffled smile. There's no way she has feelings for me. Mr. Wu, you are overthinking this. I really hope you are right. Jake, what if I gave you some money and you left the city for a while? Just until she moves on, and then you can come back. Mr. Wu, that is asking a little much, do you not think? Wu Zedwan nodded. Fair enough. I know I am putting you in a tough spot, but I honestly cannot think of any other way to stop Vivian once she sets her mind on someone. Fine, if you will not agree to that. Then I will not push it. Please take the card. Consider it a personal thank you from me. I turned it down and left Wu Corp. I headed to the BBQ stand after the meeting with Wu Zedwan. I felt a little off. He kept bringing up the gap between us, like he was looking down on people without money when I got to the stand. Vivian was already calling my phone when I saw it was her. I did not pick up, but she called right back. The second time I hesitated a long time before answering. My dad got to you, huh? What did he say? I told her he showed me around Wu Corp. And that was about it. You are a terrible liar. My dad is busy every single day. You are not some VIP. He does not have time to just give you a casual tour. Now tell me what he really said. Vivian kept pressing and I ended up coming clean. I knew it, so did you agree? Are you seriously going to cut me off? I opened my mouth, but the words did not come out. Vivian snapped. Jake, do not forget the 3 months are not up yet. You are still my boyfriend and a man keeps his word. If you try to bail, I will make you regret it. I have some stuff to handle, but when I am done, I am coming to find you. Honestly, I was stuck in a tough spot, and just when I was stressing about it, more trouble showed up that afternoon. Chinhua rolled up to the stand with a crew of rich boys filling every seat inside and out. They just sat there chatting and not ordering anything, and a lot of customers left because there was no room. By evening, Chinhua still had not moved. Yi Cheng finally lost his patience and walked over. Are you guys eating or not? If not, then get out. You are killing our business. Watch your tone, fat boy. You run a little BBQ stand and you think you are some big shot. One of the young guys next to Chinhua sneered with pure contempt. How much does this place even make in a day? 2 grand, 10 grand, name the number, I will double it. Yi Cheng stared him down, not backing down. Money does not make you special. I do not care how much you have got. All of you need to leave right now, or you are hurting our business. If you do not move, I am calling the cops. Go ahead, call them. You want me to dial for you? The young guy laughed. If you do not call, I will lose all respect for you. Yi Cheng let out an angry grunt. His expression shifted. Chinhua suddenly said, we are customers. What grounds do you have to call anyone on us? Bring us a menu. The server nervously handed one over. Chinhua glanced at it and said, listen up, I am placing an order. 1 lamb skewer, 1 beef skewer, 1 chicken wing. 1 of each for every table, you got that? 1 skewer per person on every item. This was clearly just them looking for trouble. Yi Cheng slammed his palm on the table. Get out if you are not eating. I am not here to babysit you people. Chinhua just smiled without saying a word. The guys at his table immediately jumped up. You fat piece of work. What kind of attitude is that we are paying customers doing you a favor? Do not bite the hand that feeds you. Just bring out exactly what young Master Chin ordered. One skewer more or one skewer less and we wreck this whole place. Now stop standing there. Go get it ready if we do not see skewers in 5 minutes. We are tearing this place apart. Yi-Chang was about to explode. His face turning red, I quickly stepped over, gave him a pat on the shoulder and said quietly, just go ahead and prep what they asked for. Do not do something you will regret. That is exactly what they want. Yi-Chang swallowed his anger and went to grill the skewers. Qinhua saw we did not take the bait and his expression darkened. He narrowed his eyes and said, Jake, remember this. This city is not big enough for the both of us. We are done playing nice. Starting today, I will be coming by every single day to show you some love later. With that, Qinhua walked out like he owned the place, and his crew followed one by one. Yi-Chang wanted to chase them down for the bill, but I held him back. They came here because of me. I am sorry you got dragged into this. Yi-Chang frowned. Jake, what are you talking about? You are the one who believed in me and brought me into this business. I am not the kind of guy who forgets that I know you did not mean anything by it. But this cannot keep going. If they pull this stunt every single day, the BBQ stand is going to go under sooner or later. I was stressing too. If this were anyone else, I would have gone at them already, but Qinhua has money and power, so I could not just act on impulse. It is not that I am scared of him. I just know that if I make a move, it has to be a knockout blow. Hitting back half-heartedly is pointless. Jake, maybe just call Vivian about this. Her stepping in might actually do something. I waved it off. I need to handle my own problems myself. I cannot keep running to her every time something comes up, but if not that and not this. Are we really just going to shut down? I said just hold tight for now. I will figure something out. Yi-Chang let out a helpless sigh. About 15 minutes later, Vivian pulled up in her car. She took one look at the empty stand and asked, what happened today? This is usually your busiest hour. How come there is literally nobody here? Yi-Chang opened his mouth to say something. I quickly shot him a look and laughed it off. Slow nights happen, maybe people will show up later. Vivian looked between us like she was putting something together, then smiled and said, well, no customers is actually fine. Gives us a little break. Yi-Chang, watch the store. Jake and I are heading out. Where are we going? I asked confused. You two go ahead and have fun. I got the store covered, Huntio said, patting his chest. Vivian pulled me into the car, and once we were moving, she asked if Qinhua had sent people to cause trouble again. She said the second I got out of the car, something felt off, and Yi-Chang's face was written all over with something. Why did you not let him tell me? Vivian was sharp. There was no hiding things from her. I played it casual. I can handle it. Just tell me how Vivian pushed. I said I will cross that bridge when I come to it. Things have a way of working themselves out. Vivian rolled her eyes. Easy for you to say, but is Qinhua the kind of guy you can just deal with like that? And even if he were, what about the Qin family behind him? But at the end of the day, your whole beef with Qinhua started because of me. I'm sorry I had no idea it would bring you this much trouble. I shrugged it off with a smile and said, do not worry about it. I will figure it out, but on one condition, you cannot bail on me. The 3 months are not up yet. Vivian wrinkled her nose, looking a little cute actually. I heard there is a new movie out that is supposed to be really good. Let us go see it. You dragged me out here just for a movie, is that not kind of important though? I said, come on, I need to make money. Not like you, who does not have to do anything and never runs out of cash. So you are saying I am just a waste of space? Vivian looked offended. I quickly shook my head. I am just saying people come from different situations. Save it. I know exactly what you meant. Basically, hanging out with me is less important than making a few bucks, then get out. I will stop wasting your time. Vivian pulled over to the side of the road. Well, go on, get out and go make your money. Is money all you care about? I could not argue, so I just kept my mouth shut and did not get out either. Vivian suddenly smiled. I knew you could not bring yourself to leave me hanging. It was a weekend and the movie theater was packed. Vivian had picked a romance drama, which was not really my thing, but she was completely hooked. Her eyes even got a little watery. At some point, without me noticing, Vivian had leaned in and looped her arm through mine. The softness of her pressing close and that scent she wore had my mind going places. Then Vivian leaned in close and whispered in my ear, Jake, I want. Her voice was soft and warm, her breath brushing my ear. I tensed up all over. What was she about to say? Was something about to happen right here in the theater? My pulse was going crazy. Jake, I want. I need to pee. Just when the mood was building, she hit me with, I need to pee. I was absolutely speechless. But it is dark and I am scared. Will you come with me? Vivian clung to my arm and I had no choice but to go with her. By the time we came out of the bathroom, the movie was already over. Vivian held onto my arm on the way out, clinging like a girl head over heels. Let us grab something to eat as we passed a restaurant. Vivian suddenly said. I nodded. You are actually going to pay this time, right? Vivian rolled her eyes at me. Do I look like the type who eats and dashes? I shook my head. No, you do not. The restaurant was in a prime location. Still busy at 10 at night. As soon as I walked in, I caught a glimpse of Zhang Yong and Yu Mei at a nearby table with a few other young people I had never seen. Zhang Yong, congrats man, buying a place right after graduation. That is seriously impressive. The young guy sitting across from him said, I mean, we have been working for almost 5 years, and after expenses, we have barely saved 100 grand. You are way ahead of us, well, of course. And which one of you has a girlfriend as gorgeous as Chen Yu Mei? Just on that alone, you guys will never catch up. The group kept laying on the compliments, and Zhang Yong was eating it up. Vivian had her arm through mine and let out a cold scoff. I thought this place had something going for it. Turns out just anybody can walk in here. Jake, should we find somewhere else? We are already here. No need to switch spots because of them. The others at the table all looked our way. Clearly picking up on what Vivian meant, a young guy with glasses said flatly, some people these days just have no self-awareness. All attitude and nothing to back it up. That kind of person has never been humbled by real life. Vivian turned her head and locked eyes with him. Are you talking about me? You know who I am talking about. The guy adjusted his glasses. Vivian stood up and walked over. I tried to stop her, but there was no holding her back. Zhang Yong and Yu Mei both looked nervous. Zhang Yong stood up and said, Vivian, she is just my coworker, let it go. Vivian ignored him completely, grabbed a glass of red wine and threw it in the glasses guy's face. What kind of man hides behind his glasses talking smack? I cannot stand fake intellectuals like you. Keep your eyes open from now on next time you run into me. Get as far away as possible. The guy shot to his feet furious, slamming the table before he could finish. Vivian cut him off. You what? Do you even know who I am? You want to come at me? You are not in my league. The guy was too embarrassed to back down and tried to escalate. Zhang Yong stepped in and said, Brother Wang let it go. She is from the Wu family. You do not want to mess with them. The glasses guy froze and then immediately went pale. Zhang Yong, let us just go, Yume suddenly said. Zhang Yong nodded, gave his coworker a look and started heading for the door. Vivian called out, hey Chen, I have not forgotten what you pulled that time when you went after Jake. If you had not run so fast that day, I would have made sure you never forgot it. What is wrong with some people always want what they cannot have? One man is not enough for you, so you had to go after mine. I am warning you, stay away from Jake from now on if I ever catch you sniffing around him again. I will not let it slide the moment those words came out. Zhang Yong and his coworkers all stared at Yume, and Zhang Yong's expression shifted from shock to straight up fury. Yume's face went red. She quickly said, Zhang Yong, do not listen to her. She is making things up. I never did anything like that, please, that is rich. You think you have not sunk low enough that day. If I had not shown up when I did, you would have gotten what you were after. Vivian would not let it go. My face went hot because honestly that night was not how Vivian made it sound. Yume did not come after me, I was the one who lost my head. Vivian, I have had enough of you, do not push it. Are you saying I was the one who went after him? Then let him tell you himself, did she force me? You are coming after me, but I am the one who should be coming after you. Yume completely lost it and yelled, Jake, you absolute piece of trash, I am going to kill you. Zhang Yong exploded and grabbed a wine decanter about to charge at me. His coworker grabbed him smack. Vivian raised her hand and slapped Zhang Yong hard across the face. Vivian snapped, you are the piece of trash. Jake is a good person if you ever talk about him like that again. I will cut your tongue out. Zhang Yong was all about his pride. Getting slapped by a woman in public sent him over the edge. What, you going to hit me back? You think I am afraid of you? If you lay one finger on me today, I promise you will spend the rest of your life regretting it. Go ahead, try me. Vivian stood her ground. Completely unfazed, Zhang Yong was fuming, but did not dare touch her. Zhang Yong, that is enough. The Wu family is not someone we can afford to cross. Let us just go, the glasses guy said. Come on, let us leave. Yume suddenly walked toward me and asked coldly, did you tell her I was the one who made the first move that night? I shook my head quickly. No, I would not say something like that. It is not true. At least you have that much decency. Listen, Zhang Yong and I are getting engaged soon, so stop reaching out to me or I will go to the police. Yume said sharply they were getting engaged. I thought I had completely moved on from her, but hearing that, it still hit like a needle straight to the chest. Big deal, it is just an engagement. It is not like other people cannot get engaged too. Well, Jake and I are getting engaged too, and he is going to be the heir to the Wu family. Vivian stepped forward and looped her arm through mine, staking her claim. The energy coming off her was powerful. Yume's eyes narrowed slightly. She gave me a complicated look and said coldly, is that so? Well, best of luck to you both. Though a man who only got with a rich girl for the money does not sound like much love to me. Who said he is in it for the money? He is with me because he actually likes me. Vivian shot back. Likes you? Yume looked Vivian up and down. What exactly does he like about you? Your looks. Vivian, do you dare take off those sunglasses? Chen, Yume, do not go there. I was furious she knew about the birthmark on Vivian's left eye. And she said that on purpose. It was way out of line. Yume seemed to realize she had gone too far and bit her lip, then turned and walked away. I expected Vivian to snap back with insecurity, but her face showed zero anger. She actually looked amused. What you see is not always the full picture. Not everyone is as shallow as you. Maybe all you see is the birthmark on my left eye, but what Jake sees goes a lot deeper. That is the difference between you two. And by the way, Chen Yume, do not flatter yourself just because you are pretty does not mean every man should revolve around you. If that many men actually were after you, I doubt you could even handle it. I used to think you were worth paying attention to, but given everything that has happened, you are nowhere near that level. Yume said nothing more, and the group left. Vivian sat down and asked me, Jake, do you think I am ugly, honestly? If it were not for the birthmark on my left eye. I am actually pretty good looking, right? I mean, my face is there. My body is there, right? I have seen all kinds of doctors and done so many treatments over the years, but the results were barely anything. I think this birthmark is probably going to be with me for the rest of my life. Vivian had great features and a great figure, and the birthmark had overshadowed all of it. I smiled and said to comfort her, maybe because of that birthmark you will end up finding someone who loves you for real. You never know, do you care about the birthmark on my face? Vivian looked at me intently when I first saw the birthmark on her left eye. I was honestly taken aback, like a perfect painting with a crack running through it. But the more time I spent with her, the less I even noticed it. I sat with it for a moment, then said, a little but not much. Vivian smiled at that. If you had said it did not bother you at all, I would have known you were just trying to make me feel better. Honestly, even I care about it a lot. I did not say anything and Vivian went quiet too. She looked at me thoughtfully. We had a little food, and then Vivian drove me home. She stopped in front of my place. I stepped out and Vivian suddenly asked, are you not going to invite me in, even just for a glass of water? I am a little thirsty anyway. It was almost midnight and it just felt awkward. I said, let us do it another time. I will cook for you properly. Vivian pursed her lips, looking annoyed. Why does it have to be another time? Why not tonight? I am tired from driving and I just want to sit for a minute. Is that okay? I gave in. Of course it is fine. Then invite me in. Vivian grinned. Vivian always had a way of catching you completely off guard. Vivian, please come in, I insist. Well, since you asked so nicely, I guess I will do you the honor. Vivian hopped out. The place was freshly renovated, clean and simple. I poured her a glass of water. Wow, look at the way you are living. You really do need to find yourself a wife? Vivian said, holding the glass. I gave a quiet smile. This woman never stopped dropping hints. Saying too much would only make things worse, so I kept my mouth shut. What if I just moved in here and took care of you? I nearly choked and did not know whether to laugh or not. Vivian, have you ever cooked a meal in your life? Have you ever done a single chore? And you are going to take care of me? Vivian shot me an annoyed look. Nobody is born knowing how to cook. Everything is learned. I did not know how before, but that does not mean I cannot learn. Do not underestimate me. I pick things up fast. I nodded along with a grin. That part about being a quick learner is definitely true. I said, finish your water. It is getting late and you still have to drive home. Driving this late is not safe, Vivian said. Then I just will not go home. I will stay here. I blinked. Was she seriously doing this? I decided to call her bluff with a smirk. You are not worried I might take advantage of you? Vivian looked startled for a second, then set down her glass and walked toward me. You dare? She actually sat right down on my lap, wrapped her arms around my neck, and her breath was warm against me. She said you were the one who started it. How is this fair? My heart rate shot through the roof and I pulled her in close. And before she could react, I kissed her. It was the first time I'd ever kissed a woman. My mind went completely blank with nothing but pure want. Vivian went stiff. She clearly had not expected me to actually go for it. At first she kind of pulled back, but slowly she stopped fighting it. The night was deep and quiet, and the room was thick with something electric. I am not sure how much time passed, but a man's voice suddenly came from outside the door. "Miss Vivian, it is getting late, time to head home." It was one of the Wu family bodyguards. Vivian jolted like a scared rabbit. She shoved me off and jumped to her feet. Her shirt had ridden up. Showing a strip of smooth, flat skin, she tugged her clothes back into place. And flustered said, "I heard you mind your own business." Vivian's face was so red it was practically glowing. She would not look directly at me, just stealing glances from the corner of her eye. "Okay, I am heading out. Get some rest, good night," she said and bolted out the door. I sat there rubbing my face. I am not usually like this. How did I let myself lose control like that? Looking back on that night later, I could not help but laugh at myself. But that impulsive moment was also what pushed things between me and Vivian to a whole new level.